parts for highway trucks, farm machinery, heavy equipment, transit, and marine, and at a great price too. Reach us at discountdiesel.ca and know that Discount Diesel's got the parts to get it done.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Have your sports curiosity cured.
4 years ago. George Kalani's the running back. Big to him. Down to the end zone. First touchdown. A.J. Porter has the first touchdown of Super Bowl 60.
A veteran of the sports reporting game for over 25 years.
And they bring pressure as well. And they get a back down. As Witherspoon came on the distance for a touchdown.
Breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams.
Right against the sideline. And that will do it. Seattle reigns above them all in the NFL. The Seahawks, Super Bowl champions for the second time.
This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, here we go for Saul 602, Tuesday, February the 10th, the Silver Line morning for Canada at the Olympics in Italy. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440 on your AM radio dial, on your morning drive, wherever you're heading out on a Tuesday morning. So glad you could take some time and spend it with us here on Sports 1440 AM. You can also watch us on YouTube at Sports 1440 AM. Drop us a like and a subscription. We're also on X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. And as always, we are streaming on the many, many services that are out there on iHeart, the TuneIn app, even sports1440.ca. And if you miss any part of any show, it turns into the many, many podcasts that are out there. Just search them on Apple, Spotify, Google, even Amazon. Subscribe. It's free. Select the auto download. You'll never miss a second of any show. Yeah, so glad you're with us here on a Tuesday morning to spend some time with us on Sports 1440, where Canada picks up another medal. So 3 medals in total. A silver medal this morning in mixed relay short track speed skating. Kim Boutin, Courtney Soro, William Dangeneau, and Felix Roussel picked up a silver in the mixed relay short track speed skating. So that gives Canada 3 medals in all so far at the Olympics. The 2 bronze so far, Megan Oldham yesterday in the freestyle skiing slope style. And then the first medal of the games was Valerie Malte in the 3,000 meters speed skating. So 3 medals, good start to the day, and a lot of preliminary and qualifying in speed skating, where the both men and women this morning had some really good runs, and will put themselves in a position for medal contention in the next couple of days for sure. So 3 medals, 2 bronze, 1 silver. The Canadian women's hockey team beat Czech yesterday, 5-1. The big news, though, was Marie-Philippe Poulin leaving with injury, the captain, a lower body injury. Couldn't put a lot of weight on her one leg, but maybe it's just a precautionary thing. The score was, 4-0 when she left the game. So maybe it's just something where, okay, we're up, take it easy. No sense in really pushing it. And that's because the Canadians play the United States today. And that's at 12:10. So maybe and hopefully they have the captain back for the Canadian women's team. The Canadian men's team, by the way, were, for the most part, a lot of them were at that mixed relay short track speed skating event this morning, including Connor McDavid, who was there. Sid Crosby was there. Cale Makar was there. They were all cheering their teammates on, and they will be in and out of the village and trying to take in some events as much as they can, but they have a job to do as well. And there's some players that have said, like Nathan McKinnon saying, well, I'm here for one thing. This ain't a holiday. This is all business. But I think you have to try as best you can to absorb as much as you can about the Olympic experience. And to be honest, it's about being part of a bigger team, is it not? Right. So you want to be a part of the entire Canadian team. So good on those players that were watching. And apparently they had met quite a few of the speed skaters in the village, and they ended up having some time this morning to check out the mixed relays and the short track speed skating, which is, man, like, what is it like? They say it's roller derby on ice. There were a couple tumbles this morning, and there were a couple collisions, and it's funny when they have those collisions, then they go to the tape. Who caused what? Was it this skater? Was it that skater? Is one going to be DQ'd? Is it, basically just the way the race goes and you're tangled up, and, it's almost like defensive and offensive pass interference and hand fighting and a little of this, and they get to have a good replay at it, and they decide who's at foul and who's getting the flag here, as you will. So 7:06 in Edmonton. So we got our eye on a few things on the Olympics today, but none more so, I think, than that women's hockey game against the United States. And if you look at leading up to the Olympic Games, the American women have really had their way with Canada so far in the last several weeks. They had the rivalry series. We saw some games here, and Canada did not fare well and didn't look like they were at that same level. And maybe it's a smokescreen. We had Cheryl Pounder on about 3 months ago on this show, and we asked her about what she thought about how these games were going into the Olympics. And she goes, well, I'll be honest with you, if you go back 20 years ago, 20 years plus at Salt Lake, it was the same thing. And the Canadian women were being dominated by the United States leading up to those games. And she said, well, we had a meeting and we said, listen, it doesn't matter what happened before, but we have to really regroup here. We got to get our heads on straight, and we have to have a different implementation of how we are going to process what we are trying to do here. And, they came out, and Canada's results at the Olympic Games in women's hockey speaks for itself. They are as good as it gets. Text line 833-401-1440. Old guy from the Kootenay sent me one. Hey, welcome back, AK. Super Bowl history while we wait for Olympic hockey. No accident. The Seahawks lost the big game 10 years ago. The ball should have gone to Marshawn Lynch. Yeah, no question about that. And he goes on about talking about salaries and media, and brought up Marshawn Lynch not talking at the I'm just here so I don't get fined. That was kind of humorous. And if you want to call it that, probably wasn't humorous. It was just kind of monotonous, and it was irritating years ago. But thanks for the text, old guy in the Kootenays. Hey, let's welcome in the Duke of Delburne on a Tuesday morning, as we've got the Olympics on in our Sports 1440 studios, the women's sprint going on right now. Duke wants to have a new Olympic sport. He's waiting for the biathlon, but he wants a different sport. And you want to see it in downhill skiing?
Yeah, like downhill skiing, and you still have your gun on your back. And maybe the added challenge there is that you don't stop to shoot. You're trying to shoot stuff while still moving down the hill.
Wow.
I think it'd be an extra element, extra dynamic.
So like what I'm picturing,
because think about it when the cowboys of the Old West, right? And you're shooting off the back of your horse,
okay,
that sort of thing. But Winter Olympics version, so you're skiing and shooting.
Would it be a pistol or a rifle, Duke?
I think a pistol. Well, either or. Maybe that's a separate category of the same sport.
Yeah.
There's pistol shooting off your skis, or rifle shooting.
Yeah. I could see Donnie Paulson in this event.
Oh boy!
But he would have one of those the guns with the
cork in the end.
No, the plunger. He'd lick it and try to
okay, yeah,
plunger darts
right,
or whatever that come out of there. That's
like
what
a Nerf gun almost.
Yeah, kind of like that. So, hey, I saw a thing this morning, and you never know what's real or what's not real. And about the New Jersey Devils sent out the USA team of the double picture of the Hughes and the Tkachuk brothers, and then they photoshopped out Quinn Hughes.
Really weird because the photo that was originally posted certainly looks like it has all or both brothers in it with
so Quinn and Jack.
Yeah.
And then the Tkachuks, Matthew and Brady.
And then the one the Devils posted has the Tkachuks and just Jack Hughes.
Just Jack.
But otherwise it looks identical.
But they forgot to take out the other leg.
So really?
Yes.
I did not see.
Okay, if you look at the one picture that the Devils have sent out, they've left the one leg, and actually even not just the leg, it's from the body down, because you can see 3 striped shirts and then the lower, because Quinn Hughes is shorter. So
I'm seeing it here.
Okay,
I'd never looked that closely.
Yeah, the shirt is lower, and then there's another leg. So if you count the legs, there's 7 legs.
Yeah.
So they photoshopped from his upper body technically out.
Well, it's almost like they just sliced like half, like 7/8 of them off, and then just tried to squish the other half of Quinn into what's the last 1/8 of Jack's body.
Yeah,
or the other way around. But
the facial expressions on Brady, Matthew, and Jack are all the same. So there's no question that this has been doctored.
Well, you're talking, Kevin. No doubt, it's like a doctored. You said it. There's 7 legs in the photo.
But I thought when I looked at it and I didn't see the 7 legs, and then I saw another picture of it, I thought, well, because you can take a lot of pictures and
people, for sure,
they're all looking the same all the time, right? But when I looked at this one, I was like, okay, now there's 7 legs down at the bottom, and there's 4 broad striped, on the bottom of their jerseys under the USA. I kind of thought that was sort of humorous. So text 833-401-1440. Northside Lou says the New Jersey media team does this on purpose. It's a running gag. So give us a time that it's been done before, Northside Lou. I don't recall. Did they have another picture where someone was photoshopped out? Not sure. Over the course of the morning, we're going to preview Group A for the men's Olympic hockey. And of course, Canada is in Group A with Czechia, if you want to be everyone besides Ladislav Schmid, France and Switzerland. In the other pools in Group B, it's Finland, Italy, Sweden, and Slovakia. Group C's got Denmark, Germany, Latvia, and the United States. So how it works is every team plays, obviously, every team in their group in the round robin play. After that, the teams that finish first, along with the highest placed second team, will automatically advance to the quarterfinals. Now, after the round robin, all the other 8 teams get seeded basically by order of finish in the pool play, and they will play each other to determine the other quarterfinalists. And then those quarterfinal playoffs go basically a week from today. It's February 17th. Those are the qualification games to get into the quarterfinals that are the next day on the 18th. Semifinals go on the 20th. The bronze medal game goes the 21st. And then the gold medal game is slated for February 22nd. And that is the last day of Olympic competition. So, when you look at Group A for Canada, first of all, you have to win the pool. You would think that if you don't win this pool, there is very cause for concern. And that starts with Czech right off the hop on Thursday. And that game goes at 8:40 our time on Thursday. We will look at Czech too, as well as Switzerland and France. France is obviously the weakest team, but the Czechs, they got 3 really good goaltenders right now, and they're all running hot. All 3 of their goalies are running hot. You could make an argument that their goaltending is as good as anyone in this, for the 3 of them, is as good as anyone in this Olympic competition. So we'll run these down at, 7:40 when we don't have guests, and 8:20 and things like that. Coming up right off the hop, how about this? We're going to go right to Italy. Boots on the ground, right to Italy, and we will check in right off the hop with Lucas Weiss from The Athletic. He is covering the games for The Athletic, and we will check in with Lucas right off the hop here. We'll talk about Canada's mixed relay, short track speed skating, silver medal. We'll talk about Marie-Philippe Poulin. Do you think he knows if she'll be able to go here today? Again, that game will be just 5 hours away. So at some point, we're going to know if the captain is going to go for Team Canada. Mark Spector, Frank Saravalli, our double-barrel shotgun hockey insiders for Rogers Sportsnet, and Frank with Frankly Hockey on Victory Plus TV. And Frank is in Melina Cortina, so he is there as well in Italy to talk about the hockey and some other things as well. We'll probably touch base on the Paul Coffey situation. It's interesting. Frank has gone on record saying that he thinks it's more of a probability. Another hockey insider like Elliot Friedman saying the return of Paul Coffey to Edmonton is likely not to happen. So varying discrepancy when it comes to both guys that are really plugged in, what they think is going to happen here moving forward. We got Paul Sir from Hoop City coming on. We'll talk about the basketball last night in the NBA. It's the All-Star weekend coming up in LA as well. So Paul will check in at 9:00. Ian Kennedy from the Hockey News will slide by at 10:00. And then we got Connor Halley from Fantasy Frenzy and the Jason Greger Show sliding into studio at 10:20. When we come back, Lucas Weiss from The Athletic in Italy, covering the games on the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Welcome, gentlemen, to the nerve center of game-watching greatness, my sanctuary, my Brozone.
Whoa, giant screen, comfy chairs. You've thought of everything.
Almost everything. Where are the snacks? We can't cheer on Canada without the proper fuel.
Way ahead of you. Wilhauk Beef Jerky, the official snack of the Brozone.
For a truly Canadian snack to cheer on our truly Canadian athletes, you need Wilhauk Beef Jerky, made with Alberta pride, right here in Leduc.
Saturday, it's the Valentine's Day celebration of the footwear with its own loyal fandom. Don't miss the Edmonton Oil Kings Rogers Place Croc Party.
Slide into your most romantic winter Crocs and watch your Oil Kings take a bite out of the Calgary Hitman.
Catch Oil Kings gibbets, giveaways, and an endless parade of the shoe that everyone agrees on.
And take a bite out of Calmont Kids food combos for $10 or less. The value is alligator sized.
The Edmonton Oil Kings Croc Party and the Battle of Alberta, WHL style, 7 p.m. Saturday.
Great seats at Rogers Place start at only $20 at oilkings.ca.
Business owners, if rising electricity costs are cutting into your profits, there's a smarter way forward. Right now, federal clean technology tax credits can cover 30 to over 50% of the cost of a commercial solar system, delivering an immediate return on your investment. And in Edmonton and Sturgeon County, the Commercial Clean Energy Improvement Program offers long-term financing for up to 20 years, making solar more affordable than ever. Lock in lower energy costs for decades and strengthen your bottom line. Visit GreatCanadianSolar.com to get started.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
What's some non-Nissan drivers here?
Nightmarish flurries out of the Northwest today, looking like a horror movie.
What Nissan drivers here?
It's a glorious day out there.
Don't fear the forecast. Get a Nissan Kicks S all-wheel drive for $398 monthly at 2.9% with $0 down. Built, tested, and trusted to conquer Canada's harsh winters. Visit your local Nissan dealer today or nissan.ca for details. 60 months, conditions apply.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information.
Stories, guests, and insights. This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, welcome back to the big program. Coming up to 7:20 in Edmonton, and time now for the game of the day, brought to you by St. Albert Dodge, where the clear-out remains on the new 2025 Jeep Wrangler Saharas. It's the Sahara package that is our best seller, so we have a great selection to pick up and pick you up from starting at $59,900, and we are expecting them to go fast. Get them while they're hot and get them before they're gone at stalbertdodge.com. As we welcome in Lucas Weiss from The Athletic, covering the Olympics in Italy. Good morning, Lucas. You're with Kevin Karius. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning on what I can't imagine how busy you are out there, but really appreciate it, man.
It's a pleasure to be on with you, Kevin, and good afternoon from Milan here.
I guess it is good. What time is it there right now, Lucas?
It is just that it's 3:20 p.m. local time.
Wow, unbelievable. So great news for Canada this morning with the gold. The silver in the mixed relay short track. Just give us your thoughts on Canada's third medal at these games, Lucas.
Well, I was inside the Milano ice skating arena, and it was such an electric atmosphere, Kevin. I mean, short track speed skating is one of the most exciting events of the Winter Olympics because it's so unpredictable, right? Anything can happen, and there's so much unpredictability because skaters can fall so easily. And this Canadian team, came in with a lot of high expectations, and it wasn't just such a dramatic race. I mean, they started off the hop in third place, and they were third for quite some time. But then Italy just, sprung out into the lead. The crowd is going wild, and then William Dongenew, who is one of Canada's top short track speed skaters at 24 years old, he gets into second place. He can't quite catch the Italian on that last lap, but still a silver medal for this team. A great start for Canada in the short track speed skating.
How did it work, Lucas? Because at the start there, it seemed like they were going with, they were putting certain skaters in, bringing them out. How did it work where the coaching staff finally realized, okay, this is the four that we're going to go with?
I think it just comes down to, their comfortability in that distance. I mean, certainly, Kim Boutin has won Olympic medals in short track speed skating, so she's clutch. I think ending with William Dongenew makes a lot of sense because he's so tall. He's 6'3", so he has that long stride that he can really, just overtake opponents so easily. We saw that leading up to the final today. So I really like the four that they selected. I think they gave it all they had. I think probably if you would ask them after, they probably would have wanted a better start to get out in second or first off the hop, but they were right there to the very end, Kevin. And like I said, just a really fantastic race.
Kim Boutin, so that's her fifth Olympic medal for her, but she seemed just as fired up and jubilant and excited about this one. Maybe because you never know if you're ever going to get another shot. So maybe just speak to her Olympic career to have 5 Olympic medals, Lucas.
She's one of the great Canadian Winter Olympic athletes in our country's history. She burst onto the scene at the 2018 Pyeongchang Games. She wins 3 medals there, gets the chance to carry the Canadian flag at the closing ceremony. So, clearly already comes, into these next 2 Olympics with a lot of pedigree. She wins another medal in Beijing 2022 and now has a gold. I mean, her 4 medals, Kevin, were all individual. So now for her to win her first Olympic medal, this being in the team event, just shows you her consistency, right? Whenever she shows up here on the big stage, she delivers, and it's just fantastic to see her deliver once again at the Olympics because, like you said, you never know when you're going to hand up the skates, and if she were to do so in the future, she goes down as one of Canada's greatest short track speed skaters, no question.
Yeah, Lucas Weiss from The Athletic. So glad that he could join us, taking some time from covering the Olympics here in Italy. Also, because you're focusing on the short track, they had the heats for the women's 500 and the men's 1,000 to set the table. How did you think that our athletes did in those heats this morning, Lucas?
I thought very well. Look, they were fast, they were confident. I was especially excited to see Don Janu because he comes into these games, Kevin, with a lot of expectation. This is his first Olympics. He's 24 years old, and already he's achieved so much in short track speed skating. He has he's a 4-time world champion. He's the #1 short track speed skater in the world, according to the ISU skate rankings. But all he's missing is the Olympics now, and this is, the biggest of them all. And I thought he had a very patient race to qualify for the quarterfinals, and you just felt like there's more to give with him, especially when the race has become a lot more consequential. So overall, a very successful day for Canada in short track speed skating. I expect this Olympics to be quite successful for Canada in the short track, like it's been in Olympics past. This is a country with a lot of short track success at the Olympics, and I think Milan Cortina, we're going to see the medals rack up for the short track speed skating athletes.
What did you make, Lucas? A lot of the members of the men's hockey team were there on hand, cheering on their fellow teammates, I guess, in the big picture, including Connor McDavid was there this morning.
Yeah, I mean, originally, Kev, I thought it was only going to be a few of the men's team: Sidney Crosby, Cale Makar. But then when you look up, it looked like the whole team was there. Connor McDavid, Mitch Marner, I saw Brad Marchand. So, I mean, look, the Canada men's hockey coach John Cooper, he wants his team to just have fun and get to enjoy the Olympic Village and really immerse themselves in this Milan experience. And this is what's so great about the Olympics, is that you have professional athletes like this who normally would be playing in the NHL had it not been an Olympics. They're here supporting short track speed skating, supporting our country. And I think that's what makes the Olympics so special, and good for them for taking time out of their busy schedule to come support the silver medalists, short track speed skaters.
The Athletics' Lucas Weiss with us on the Kevin Carey Show on Sports 1440. We'll get to the women in a minute. A lot of news with the women's hockey team here, Lucas. But can you feel the buzz of the men's teams there? Because we haven't had the best on best for such a long time at the Olympics. Can you feel that buzz there?
No question. And certainly when they arrived in Milan, I mean, the Canadian team took a group photo in the city center of Milan, and I just think it's going to even get bigger in these next couple of days, right? Of course, Canada and the United States play on Thursday here in Milan. They kick off their Olympic men's hockey tournament, and it's just so exciting, right? Because I think for a lot of us, we remember NHLers at the Olympics, but that's the last time, again, Kev, for those of you tuning in that don't realize, is 2014, 12 years ago. It's been since the Olympics had the NHL there. So that's 2 full Olympic cycles of no Olympic hockey players from the NHL. And I just think the level is going to be very high. I think the players are really excited to get going. I mean, Nathan McKinnon has been, I feel like, the most locked in out of all the Canadians right now. He just wants to come here. It's a business trip for him. He wants to win a gold medal. And I think it's just going to be exciting to see what the fans react, seeing these players here play, because I think the atmospheres in these venues have been great thus far. I think it's going to be even more electric when the NHLers play.
Lucas Weiss with us on Sports 1440. So the Canadian women are back at it against the United States today in just under 5 hours. But the big news was yesterday with Marie-Philippe Poulin. What do you think the chances of her playing today are, and what's the cause for concern with the Canadian captain here, Lucas?
So I was at the Royal Arena yesterday seeing Canada and Czechia, and saw the hit very close to me. It happened, and it was a hard hit. And Marie-Philippe Poulin doesn't go down that easily, but she was down. And to me, the biggest cause for concern for me, Kev, was watching her on the bench. She was keeled over. It looked like she had tears in her eyes. And look, athletes know when they're badly hurt, and that isn't good news, to see her like that. Now, she briefly returned at the end of the first period on the bench, so there was thought maybe she could come back, but she never played another minute again since the hit. Now, there was no update after the game from Coach Troy Ryan about her status, and no news about whether she's playing in today's game yet. So we'll know in a few hours' time. If I had to guess, I'd probably say no, just because I think, Canada's going to be through the quarterfinals, and I think you have to rest her as much as possible for a potential gold medal game or rematch against the Americans. But it's too bad, Kev. Like, look, this matchup always has juice. It's the ultimate rivalry, not just in women's hockey, but in all pro sports. I mean, Canada, USA, women's hockey, and it just feels like a little bit of the air has been let out of the balloon when it comes to this news, especially if she doesn't play for the majority of these Olympics. So hoping for the best, but definitely was a tough seeing her get hit and the aftermath of that.
Hey Lucas, what do you make of the Canadian women just going into the games against the Americans? Because for all intents and purposes, everyone thinks that it's going to be these two when it comes to the gold medal game. But leading up to the Olympics, the Americans have really handled Canada quite easily and quite handily. Has that Canadian mindset changed? Because it's happened before in prior Olympics where the Americans had that edge, but somehow Canada found some resolve and got back to a level playing field.
Well, let's just set the scene, right? The United States won the last World Championship over Canada. They swept the rivalry series over Canada. And it wasn't just like, those games were handily won by the United States, Kev. I mean, the United States outscored Canada 24-7. So I really do feel like that the Americans are the favorite, and rightfully so. But Canada has this resolve. They have that veteran leadership group in Marie-Philippe Poulin and Erin Ambrose and Natalie Spooner, so many others. And I just think they have that resolve. They have the ability to adapt, like we saw at this tournament where they had to postpone their first game. So I think that toughness will allow them to have a really good shot at defending their gold medal title. Now, I think the Americans are stacked. They've looked amazing. They're undefeated as well this tournament. But it's only just one game, right? It's not a series. And look, the Canadians know the playbook. They know the playbook of the Americans. And I think might, hold back a bit maybe in this game in the round robin to prepare for the gold medal game. So, look, Canada has a good chance, but the Americans are the favorites and deservedly so.
Mm-hmm. Just to update Marie-Philippe Poulin, while we were discussing her, Team Canada just sent an update out. Lucas, she will not play today against the United States and is listed as day-to-day with a lower body injury. She picked up the one assist in Canada's win against the Swiss yesterday. Not yesterday, but one assist against the Swiss earlier. So she will not be in action. Do you think there's a player that comes in? Everyone has the reserve list, and I'm not sure if they would have a person that is top of mind. Do you think there's someone that you would have top of mind that would be replacing Marie-Philippe Poulin for this game against the Americans today?
I'm going to be honest, Kev. There's no one replacing Marie-Philippe Poulin. I mean, you can juggle the lines. I mean, I really liked Sarah Fillier. I really like, does Natalie Spooner move up the lineup? I mean, who knows? But this is a big loss. Like, the thing is, like, if not wishing this, but if someone from the Canadian men's team got injured, I mean, that team has depth, right? But Marie-Philippe Poulin is so one of one. She's the greatest women's hockey player of all time for a reason. So, yeah, like I said, big loss for Canada, and really takes a lot of juice out of today's game.
Yeah. So day to day, we'll see what happens moving forward. But the leadership too, as you would know, Lucas, that's such a critical thing. And with her being such a veteran leader on this team, that's going to be hard to replace for sure. Hey, just personally, I'd just like to know how you go about your day to day covering of the Olympic Games. I know everyone has their beat and you're here and there, but what about how does the proximity work for events and venues and things like that as far as your assignments go, Lucas? How does that work for you?
Well, there's a lot of planning that goes involved. I mean, certainly, we've planned here at The Athletic for, I'm sure, months, maybe, a year out, what everyone's doing. And for me, I've spent a lot of time, figuring out where I'm going and whatnot. But the thing about Milan is these venues are very spread out. So you have to factor in some travel time to get from the hotel or get from the media center to the actual venue. For me, hockey's going to be the big focus, and I feel like I'm going to be in every hockey game. But the great thing is, you never know where a story's going to take place, right? Sometimes it's figure skating, sometimes it's short track speed skating like today. So the thing about Milan is there's 4 venues, 2 hockey, the figure skating, short track speed skating, and then the long track speed skating. So I'm going to be doing a bit of everything, Kev, and we have tremendous reporters on the ground here covering their own beats, like you said, and then people back at home, providing live coverage so that we give our subscribers a chance to feel immersed in these games from at home. And it's been an exciting game thus far, lots of great stories, and it's only going to continue to get better as the days go on.
I'm dating myself here, Lucas, but I was in Calgary in '88, and I thought, okay, going from the Saddle Dome to Can Olympic Park, I was like, holy cow, this is like way too far. But that would be like a hop, skip, and a jump for what you guys are doing over there, correct?
Like to me, the average, distance is like 40 to 60 minutes. Like that's sort of what it takes. But look, I'm not complaining. For me, to be on the ground, to be in these venues, which is so electric to see the different countries, fans of different nations come together to support their athletes and to see the athletes perform on the big stage. I that's what makes the game so special. It's why it resonates with so many people. So feeling very fortunate and privileged to be here to chronicle this sports history.
Are you looking forward to maybe one event more than other ones here in the next week and a half, 2 weeks, or?
I mean, for me, the hockey gold medal games always have a special place in my heart, especially if Canada makes it there. The figure skating I love too. I think the figure skating is, so beautiful, so artistic, and certainly Canada has a great, rich history in figure skating, but everyone has their eyes on the American Ilya Mullinen, aka the Quad God, or Alyssa Liu. So it's, for me, every day is busy, it flies by, but it's just so fun to see what, the different sports, what these athletes can accomplish.
Lucas, I can't thank you enough for taking time out, boots on the ground in Italy. Enjoy the rest of covering the Olympics, and maybe we can chat after it's all said and done to wrap things up. Thanks for coming on.
Kevin, it was my pleasure. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. That's Lucas Weiss from The Athletic in Milano Cortina. I mean, you like that, Duke, or what? Is that my Italian?
Yeah, I like that.
Does it sound like Gene Principe or something, or what?
Yeah, good flair.
Yeah,
good flair. Maybe Gino can give you some tips over the course of the next couple of weeks. Make sure you're fluent by the end of the game.
Gino wasn't over there covering,
Oh, a trip to the homeland.
Can you imagine, well, Frank's, I guess. Gino and Frank could hang out there together.
Yeah, a couple paisans.
Yeah. That's the game of the day, brought to you by St. Albert Dodge, where, again, the clear out on the remaining 2025 Jeep Wrangler Saharas continues. You can get behind the wheel for under $60,000, $59,900. They're going to be gone fast. Check them out at stalbertdodge.com. For the 6 or 8 texts talking about the audio for Lucas, well, again, he would have moved to a little room somewhere in Italy. So it's not like he's sitting in studio here, but for him to take the time out on covering what has been so far a very busy day down at short track speed skating, we commend him for that. And hey, sometimes the audio and sometimes the video. We've watched games where the pictures flickered and this and that, and the audio hasn't been great. But I think it was, you could hear and him to get his point across just fine. So again, the big news there, Marie-Philippe Poulin will not play against the United States today. That game, 12:10 our time. And we will see exactly where she fits into the picture. Again, day to day, how she's able to move forward with this. Again, Canada's going to get to the semifinals quite easily, but it's about making sure she's ready to get going and be ready to go for if she's able to. Who knows? I mean, this could be her last Olympics as well, so you never know. So appreciate all the comments about the quality of audio as well. King of Fort Nasty texted in a while back too, said, good morning, KK Duke and the morning crew. The Duke's idea of speed skating is when Chucky Slick tows him behind a 1978 Spitfire on his skates across the Delburne Lakes or Lake. Cheers, King of Fort Nasty. Is this true, Duke?
I'd give it a go. Never done it that way. I have been towed behind plenty of snowmobiles, usually on a toboggan, a couple times on a snowboard or skis. That's just for fun around the yard.
He says Delburne Lakes.
Yeah, never, but there is a lake at Delburne. Okay. It's not the type of lake that you go swimming in. It's just a big slough, really. I do think some people take a little boat out there from time to time. I'm not really sure why, but besides the point. So no, I've never been across the Delburne Lake frozen. Usually just our own sloughs in the back 40.
Is there fish in there?
I have no idea. I don't think so.
So what would you do on there? Like how big is it? Is it a slough or?
It's a big slough, a big slough.
So it's not a lake.
Well, it is a lake. It's called Delburne Lake.
Well, I mean, is there a cottage on it? Is there like a cabin?
Oh, there's some lakefront property for sure. Just people's farms.
When we come back, kind of an interesting text from Brendan regarding Connor McDavid's eating habits, his fear of ketchup as well. I mean, when you're in Italy,
is there a lot of ketchup in Italy?
Well, I mean, ketchup is made from tomatoes, and does Connor McDavid does he use tomato sauce on his?
Well, that's Brendan's text would incline us to think no, but I'd never heard that before. I just thought he didn't like ketchup. Don't try and tell me that ketchup tastes the same as like a pasta sauce.
I'm not saying that, but I'm not saying that, but maybe he's got a fear of tomatoes. I don't know. That's coming up right after the break. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Sometimes you think about what you're going to do in the day. Go to work, pick up the kids from school, make supper. But at GS Construction, we think a little differently. Winter is our season to think, to plan, and to improve. We study, we innovate, we train. So when the thaw comes, we're ready to dig, build, and deliver even better, which means we need people like you. If you're thinking about joining the team at GS Construction, now's the time to do it. To apply and to see how we think, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Hello. You're never going to believe this. Booster Juice called your name today. You can get a free smoothie or acai bowl.
No way. I'm heading there now.
Oh my gosh, you and my brother had the same name. Okay, I'm calling him next. I'm hanging up.
Booster Juice Names of the Day is back. 2 names are selected each day, and if your name matches, you can get a free smoothie or an acai bowl. Watch for your name on the Booster Rewards app and social media. Must be an app member to qualify. Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in stock, ready to deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 EEE. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the 2 best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Invest for today and tomorrow. Vision Credit Union makes it simple with 2 RRSP options to fit your goals. Choose a secure term deposit RRSP with guaranteed returns or a mutual fund RRSP offering higher growth potential with exciting opportunities. With an RRSP, you'll save on your income tax, grow your investments tax-free, and get closer to your dreams. Whether it's retirement or your first home, the deadline to qualify for 2025 tax deductions is March 2nd. Learn more at visioncu.ca.
You're listening to Sports 1440 and watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Sports 24/7. We are Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 745 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick with you here on Sports 1440. Text 833-401-1440 as we were talking about before the break. Brendan says, I wonder what McDavid's eating out there, being afraid of ketchup and not eating tomatoes or red pasta sauce. Brendan says that he only eats pasta with pesto sauce. That's what he said on the first season of Face Off. Then he said, maybe I saw it somewhere else, but that he just talked about being afraid of ketchup and basically said he doesn't like tomatoes. Man, he wouldn't be very good in the old garden in Laurier Heights, would he, Duke? With those 80, he'd come in the backyard and see those 80 tomato plants, and he'd think he was in some horror film. 833-401-1440. Ty Guy says, Duke is such a country kid. Back in the day, bumpering was all the rage in the neighborhood. IMAX says, I would have pictured bumper shining while shooting mailboxes for the Duke. Now, there you go, Duke. Now, there's the Delburne Olympics right there. So you were bumper shining.
So is that like towed behind the car?
Well, no, that's you're hanging onto the bumper. That's what we used to do back in the day. So it was called bumper shining, and
you're just like skidding along on your shoes?
You're in a crouch position and you're hanging on.
Okay.
That's how we used to go to school. So you'd hang on to the bumper. Duke, I'm not kidding.
I believe you.
But you'd have to.
What cars am I hanging off of at the farm to do that?
Well, I don't
know. My mom leaving for work in the morning?
But I mean, I think this is a great Delburne Olympic event. So you would have I don't think you got a pistol out at the farm, but you probably got a 22 or something. So you'd have, you're shooting mailboxes on the way by.
Okay.
Or a baseball bat.
Cracking those. Yeah. It's doing harm, vandalism.
The Duke Olympics. We should start this off. Hey, Josh Fenwick, this is your job this week. The Duke Olympics. So we've got, IMAC has said, so bumper shining while shooting mailboxes. So we need probably 4 or 5 other events. I'm sure like shotgunning beer and all that will come into play.
Doesn't need to be it's the Duke Olympics.
Duke Olympics.
There we go.
The
You just
Duke
take
Olympics.
that O out.
Okay.
Okay.
I
Shooting
like Duke Olympics.
Okay, sure.
Duke
Olympics.
Duke Olympics.
Duke Olympics.
Make it all one word. All right, mailbox shining. What else do you guys like to get up to on the farm? How about like
I would love to hear what you think we get up to.
how about
on the
like
farm.
heifer steering or something like that?
Well, we got to get away from things that, the Dukes, like you see in the rodeo with the mutton busting and all that stuff. This is Winter Olympics too.
Okay.
So you got to be, so if he's bumper shining while shooting something.
Ice chopping. Got chop holes in the ice for the animals to drink, like in the slough.
There we go.
Forget drilling a hole. You just chop it with the
So
axe.
you got an axe. You would never. What about an auger?
Yeah, maybe
Like
maybe if you're preppy,
but not a power auger. We're talking a hand.
a
auger.
hand crank auger. I would use those sometimes to confirm to my dad that the slough out front was thick enough that I wouldn't have to shovel it off by hand, and we could take the skid steer out there to clear it off instead.
Yeah.
I'd go for an auger out and see how thick the ice was.
Oh, there we go. Another event convincing Duke's dad to do something a different way than he wants it done.
Oh, he just wanted me to do it by hand.
So we got a couple of events so far.
Mhm.
Text line 833-401-1440. What event would we like to see the Duke Olympics? So we've already got the bumper shining with a pistola, shooting mailboxes or whatever. Chopping ice with an axe, I guess, or a hand auger. Atticus says the Delburne Olympics shotgunning Boilermakers. And he called it a dump again.
Yeah, of course.
Where's he from?
I think Sherwood Park, is he? If I remember correctly from previous messages. I don't think I've ever actually even had a Boilermaker.
Oh, you got to get on that.
I
never
don't
had
think
one?
I do. I prefer to have my.
You've had one, right?
I prefer to have my alcohols separate and drunk at a medium pace.
So I did have a few of the bartenders pouring for some of the locals in Mexico, Uglies. And it's a drink that has been around a long time, and that's beer and tomato juice.
Yikes.
But you pour the tomato juice down the side, so it sinks to the bottom.
Interesting.
And then you got to drink the whole thing, put salt on it. And when your throat starts to burn from the beer, well, the tomato juice just hits it, and it's just a wonderful feeling.
Connor McDavid's worst nightmare.
Oh, well, I think he drinks beer.
No, not tomato juice, though, evidently.
Coach Al, bobbing for apples. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Bobbing for apples, Duke?
In the wintertime?
Yeah.
Water will freeze.
Ranger Dad says the 500-meter dash to start the diesel engine in the morning. It's not a bad, eh?
Sprint. A couple cranks. Got to get the ether up either into the stack or.
Yeah.
Or,
is that where you spray it in the stack, right?
For the tractors, because obviously that's where your air intake is up on front of the hood, I guess would be the term. So,
Jay and Victoria, turd toss.
Frozen cow pie, like a frisbee, like winter discus almost.
Winter discus, Duke.
Not
with
bad.
A cow patty.
Not bad.
You could. I bet you could get some good airtime on those.
Oh yeah.
Josh has no idea what we're talking about.
I mean, it's not exactly rocket science, Kevin, to figure it out.
Olympic snowshoe slalom from Brian. Coach Al says tongue on metal. Spec did that when we were skiing that one time. Oh, here's one from Bruceter. I like this one, Duke. The street hockey with one of those hard orange balls that are frozen and hurt like.
Oh yeah, that'll sting a guy.
Oh, those things.
You wear one of those right on the chest or on the thigh or something. Or if you didn't have a helmet or something, you take it off the face if you were taking your turn playing goalie.
The Duke Olympics, man. So who's going to be in this? You, Chucky Slick, the big Cebolia.
Sure.
Your sisters?
Sure.
Oh, could you imagine? Laddie would probably go out and watch, be a judge.
Yeah. Yeah, he'd love that. He would.
Colin from Rimby. Fixing fence after you slide off the end of the road and drive through one. Wow. Cow tipping from Doug. King says, can't forget that as well. Tie guy, flying snow angels, Duke. You jump off a hay bale into a snowdrift, delicate landing, finish with a snow angel.
Well, there's your finesse sport, right? Your artistic one to land perfectly and then carve out the right silhouette in the snowbank.
I think we got something here.
Well, I'll leave it up to you, Kev. You seem to have a lot on your plate these days with the ODR game, the poker game. Now this.
Jay in Victoria says, Canada got a silver in team speed skating. Yes, we talked about it for the first 15 minutes here, Jay. It was a mixed relay short track speed skating, the third medal for Canada. 2 bronze already in freestyle skiing, slope style, and the other in speed skating, long track, 3,000 meter. That was Val Malte, the first medal for Canada. Dallas says, no, you don't have anything here, Kevin. He doesn't think so. Oh, come on, Dallas. Let's have a little fun sometimes. Let's have a little fun. Ooh, Army Daryl, warm Wildcat beer shotgunning. Man, we got the best listeners. They come up with these ideas. I posed it at Josh Fenwick, and what did he come up with? Nothing. Just sitting there, thinking about the Lakers game last night. I crawled into the fart sack last night, Josh. It was right at halftime, the old Lakers and OKC, 119-110 final. Did you watch any of it?
I did not. I was more taken aback by I was still sort of reeling from the Hornets game. Oh. Hornets and Pistons. They got in a huge fight. Malice in wherever the hell the Charlotte Hornets play. couple suspensions, 4 guys taken off the court. It was exciting stuff.
Really?
Need that as a playoff matchup. The Hornets, red hot. They're on they hadn't had a 8-game win streak since the PS2 came out. That was 2000, by the way, Kev. So 26 years they hadn't won 8 straight games. They finally did it last week.
Wow.
Red hot.
All right. Well, that's something that maybe you can talk to Paul Sir about. Maybe you'll have a re-ask and a follow-up as well.
Well, I was thinking about asking him, why is LeBron James so good?
Hey, how about Dallas? Oh, it's always fun. But literally 3 people will maybe watch this if it was on TSN. I'll tell you what, Dallas, if we get this to TSN, that would be something. Could you? Well, you know what? There are some bad programming out there, But could you imagine the Duke Olympics from Delburne? And they bring, how about this, Duke? Lindsay Hamilton comes out, and she's the host of the Duke Olympics from Delburne.
But I don't know, would that push me to be at my best or make me nervous and cave under the pressure? Hard to say.
I think you'd cave.
Hard to say.
You'd be looking up. Hey, Lynn's over here.
I'd be waving to the crowd. Yeah.
I see she really got dolled up for her Olympic coverage here.
Well, of course. It's the prime time.
Yeah, she's I think she's got the hair extensions going even more so, Duke, for you. Coming up at the top of the hour, we got Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet, followed up by Frank Saravalli in Italy. He'll be at 8:20. Before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in the Edmonton area. Hey, if you are thinking about buying or selling a home, call or text Sean directly at 780-265-0165. Here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
This morning from the Olympics in Italy, Canada picking up another medal, winning silver in the mixed team short track. Speed skating, other Canadians in action. Women's team combined downhill. The pairing of Grenier and Saint-Germain finished 13th in slalom, 19th in the Alpine, while the great Nomar team finishing 22nd. Julian Viel and Michael Kingsbury finished 2nd and 3rd in their heat. In the men's moguls qualifier and men's 1,000-meter speed skating, William Danjanu and Felix Roussel both finished 1st in their heats, while Stephen Dubois finishing 3rd. In the women's 500-meter, Courtney Soreau and Kim Boutin both finished 1st in their heats. Florence Brunel placing 2nd and advancing. Still to come today, Trinity Ellis and Emberly Susko will have their 3rd run in the women's luge. Men's singles figure skating short program will feature Stephen Gogolev, and our women's hockey team will take on the USA just after 12 o'clock noon, but won't have Captain Marie-Philippe Poulin after getting injured in yesterday's win over the Czechs. In the association last night, a feisty affair between Detroit and Charlotte saw the Pistons win 110-104. Anthony Edwards of 30 points lift the Wolves to a 138-116 win over Atlanta. Cleveland got past Denver 119-117, and no SGA, no problem for the Thunder. They beat the Luka-less Lakers 119-110. Coming up in hour 2 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by Sportsnet's Mark Spector and Frank Saravalli from Victory Plus TV. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Planning your next event? Let Loca Quality Market cater. From made-to-order meals to gourmet platters to full chef tasting experiences, they make entertaining effortless. Visit loca.ca to start planning today.
Top quality flooring, locally owned, and Canadian products from Beaulieu. Yeah, that's CFI.
CFI what?
No, CFI, Custom Floors Inc.
From free estimate to professional installation, contact Custom Floors Inc. at customfloorsinc.ca.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedoruk, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
5-time Junior Hockey League champions, the Spruce Grove Saints, are excited to be back on the ice at the brand new Thompson Family Arena. Be part of the action and enjoy some of the best junior hockey Canada has to offer by experiencing a Saints game for your next outing. Tickets range from $10 to $17 with free parking and some of the best food and drink specials in town. For more information on tickets and how you can become a partner, go to sgsaints.ca.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Whoa, I gotta put some money on the game tonight. We hit our monthly budget. Whoa, how did you get in here? I'm you, the responsible you. We're right. We'll play another time. Sounds more like us.
If you gamble, use your game sense. Visit GameSenseAB.ca.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 8 o'clock in Edmonton. Hour number 2 of the Kevin Karius Show, where Canada has picked up another medal at the Olympics, a silver in mixed relay short track speed skating. And time now for On the Mark, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Spring is coming and so are the Corvettes. Oh, man. Come see the vets inside Northgate's showroom and get 0% financing. See more at northgategm.com. Man, with the weather we've had here in the last week or so, feel that out. Could see Speck in a vet. Good morning as we bring in Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. Good morning, Speck.
There's always a vet sitting in the showroom there at Northgate, and it's bright yellow, and it's absolutely beautiful. And I feel like the same thing. Oh. I don't know. You'll know I'm having my midlife crisis when you see me wheel up in a vet that I can't afford.
I always like, the candy apple red.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah.
I did just buy a truck from Mike.
Yeah.
That sponsorship's working out pretty good for him, man. I don't know what he's paying us, but I bought a truck from him. My son bought a truck from him. That's a pretty good deal for old Mikey up there.
Yeah, you're doing well for Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC, aren't you?
Someone's doing well.
Yeah, boy. So yesterday and this morning, have you been still just consumed with the Olympics, Beck? What'd you say yesterday? All of a sudden, I would turn the TV on, and an hour and a half later, I didn't even know the time had passed, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's hard to get anything done in your life when there's all these sports on. When you're a sports geek like us, I'm watching the moguls right now, and and like I just watched these 3 Swedish women win this cross-country ski race. It was amazing. A couple of Danish guys won the next race. It was amazing. Like it's such a foreign, these sports are foreign. We don't see these sports. We see them once every 4 years. I'm fascinated by most of them, even biathlon. Like whoever thought you'd be fascinated by biathlon, but I am.
We were watching, and I think it's the same event you're talking about, and it was the sprint, and it was those guys going uphill.
Yeah.
Like it was like an incline. Like you're going, how the hell are these guys doing it? And it was like nothing to them. They were just zipping along. And I mean, you could just feel the legs burning and the lungs burning, though, couldn't you?
Have you ever tried, have you cross-country skied that freestyle where you skate?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, and it's hard. Maybe the best workout. It's your legs, it's your upper body, it's your lungs. It's the greatest workout ever, and you're outside in the nice, fresh, cold air, right? It's awesome. I have several houses ago up in Capilano, and I taught myself to ski on the Gold Bar trails. And what a great way to spend a winter day, right? Being outside and breathing in the cold air and having a good workout. It's awesome. No wonder all the Norgies are so healthy.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, they, back in the day, they'd also have that wineskin with them too, Speck.
Speaking of wineskin, so on the weekend, Jeff Hellen and Howie Draper put together this 40th anniversary for the 1986 Golden Bears. They won the CIAU championship, right? And I was at the Gateway that year covering them. And remember Blaine Ostapovich? Remember him? Anyway, he was a CGSR play-by-play guy. So they invited us to this celebration. It's a 40-year celebration. So we go to the Bears, go to have a nice dinner. We go to the Bears game on Saturday night. Didn't see you there. I know you're still in Mexico, I suppose, eh?
Yeah, and I needed a night off. Larry the Liver needed a night off spec.
You did, eh? Okay. Yeah. So we go to the Bears game, and we're watching the game. It's a really good game against UBC. And then next thing we're up in the Bears den, and we're watching the game from 1986 that they won the championship. And
you're kidding.
Oh my God. Someone's mom had it on VHS, and they transferred it over to a disk drive or something. I don't know.
Really?
So we're watching this game, and they're playing the Trois-Rivières Patriots, who may have the ugliest kit you've ever seen in your life. They're green and orange with green Cooperalls. Wow. Who goes with green and orange and green Cooperalls? So we're watching this game, and the odd guy scores, and we all laugh, and then the commercials start coming on, Kev.
Okay.
And the first commercial, they're advertising VHS machines. That's how old we are.
Oh.
They're talking about the new VHS machines that are coming out. And then the next commercial comes on, and they're introducing us to traveler's checks.
American Express, yeah.
If you go anywhere, you got to have these traveler's checks.
Don't leave home without it. So who was broadcasting the game spec?
CJSR.
Okay.
University radio station.
Right, but what about
on TV? I'm sorry. It was on CTV Sports.
CTV, wow.
Sports. The game was played at the Agricom.
Yeah.
The old Agricom. Me and Blaine called it from the end zone. So when your team was going away from you, you knew who every guy was. But when they were coming at you, you didn't have a hot clue who had the puck.
Oh, man. So, yeah, Howie was on that team, and Eric Thurston was on that team.
Dave Otto, the Oilers orthopedic man, today was a real solid centerman on that team.
Yeah.
Cat named Al Tarasuk was on that team.
How many guys showed up for it, spec?
Sorry?
How many guys, how many former players were there?
Oh, I'd say there was let's say the team had 22 guys. There was probably about 15 or 16 of them there.
Yeah, like Dennis Cranston would have been there. And
Cranston boys were there. Sid and Dennis was there. Yeah. Denny LeClaire was there. A whole bunch of guys. Johnny Krill, the goalie. Darren Turner, the goalie, were there. So, we had a lot of fun. It was, you take anything back 40 years to a group of guys that you haven't seen much of since. So you're obviously going to have some fun. We had a couple of cold beers, a nice meal.
Oh,
Golden Bears look good against UBC, so life was good down there.
Oh, that's cool. I just punched up the roster, and I'm just seeing, and John Reed was on that team. He didn't play a lot that year because he played a couple years prior, and that was John passed away from cancer, and then hence the John Reed tournament in St. Albert.
Yes, right. Stacy Wakabayashi was there.
Yeah.
So they're living up in Prince George. Those are good teams. Billy Moore and his wife were there at the celebration. Of course, that was a Claire Drake team.
Yep.
As well.
That's cool. I kind of was wishing I would have been able to get down Saturday night, but I didn't have anything left in the tank. Anyway, hey, we just got news. Marie-Philippe Poulin, she's not going to play tonight. This afternoon. It's a 12 o'clock game, so just over 4 hours for Canada against the United States. So she was injured yesterday in the win over Czechs 5-1. I don't know. This could be a big blow. Hopefully it's not as serious, and they're just sort of just tempering things. And the cause for concern is for her to maybe stay low now and then rest up to the big games when you're talking semifinals and finals here.
Well, so they have a game against, is it tomorrow against the US?
USA's today at 12:10.
And then they have to play Finland tomorrow, correct?
Right, because that was the game that was, the
norovirus cancellation. So, for instance, I think I'm going to say that the game against the U.S. doesn't matter so much. If things go the way you think they're going to go, you're going to play them in the final. I guess this is to decide who's home team in the final.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're thinking you can beat Finland, win, lose, without Poulin or with her or whatever, it doesn't matter. You still beat them. You're going to you're going to end up in a quarterfinal game against a team that isn't the U.S., which means you can beat them without Poulin.
Yeah.
And, listen, I saw like I have any intel how much she's hurt. I mean, you know how hockey works now. She could be absolutely fine and they could be resting her for 2 games. Like it could be a situation where if the gold medal game was today, she'd play.
Mhm.
Or it could be totally the opposite where they know she's never playing again and they're just not telling anybody.
Yeah.
And there's just no way to know unless you're inside the Team Canada training room.
Mhm. I look at it too, the way that these two teams have faced off against each other, Spec, leading up to the games. And we had Cheryl Pounder on, a couple of months ago, and we discussed back in 2002, and it was the same thing. She said they were getting schooled by the USA leading up to the Olympics, but then somehow they regrouped. And that's what this team has to do, because leading up here in the the rivalry series, the world, everything else, I mean, the Americans have been superior. They have been lights out, the better team. And I'm not sure if Canada's got it in them this time to get it back to that level.
Well, listen, it's a nice story to say we lost all the games that really didn't matter that much, but we won the big one at the end, the one that did matter. And, you're still eligible to write that story because we haven't played the big game yet. And I include today's game. Today's game isn't that meaningful. I mean, you sure would rather not, someone's going to get some confidence out of this game today, right? That's sort of the big thing for me is, the USA, they're looking at Canada like we can beat these guys. We beat them a whole bunch of times here in the rivalry series. We're a better team. We've been the better team. Their confidence has got to be really high. It should be. It should be because they have been the better team. And if they beat you today, or whoever wins today gets sort of the last, they draw the last blood before the biggest game ever. So, if I'm Canada, I don't want to lose 6-1 here today because I've been losing 6-1 a little bit to the USA. And not only will the USA be pretty confident when that gold medal game comes along, it's going to be hard to manufacture your own confidence that, okay, we've been getting beat up for 6 months, but oh boy, we're going to win today. Like, I know you're going to say it, but are you really going to believe it, Kev?
Mark Spector with us from Rogers Sportsnet on Sports 1440. The men get going on Thursday morning against the Czechs. So they had a closed practice yesterday, Spec.
What are we,
do you
football now?
Hey, you like that? I knew this was going to get you going.
Well, come on. I mean, closed practice. I saw it today where all the other teams are closing their practices too.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? What are we like? Are we putting in trick plays? We're running the old hook and ladder here now, or what the hell are we doing?
So is it all about what line combinations that the coach staff doesn't want others to see? What is it?
I mean, it's stupid because they all have a warm up and you'll give your line combinations away. Who cares what your line combinations are? You got a whole bunch of good players. Everybody knows that. Like, and Denmark is having a closed practice. Like anyone cares who Denmark's lines are? Oh my God. What's Denmark doing that's going to take the world by surprise, Kev?
Okay, so why are they doing this? Why would Canada have a closed practice?
I don't know, because someone, it's to me, it's a football thing. Closed practice is football, and it's an American thing, right? Okay. It's a college football, NFL thing that just bleeds into hockey every once in a while. And as a hockey guy, lifetime hockey guy, I make sure to stand up and let people know that it's stupid and it should stay with college football. There's no reason to have a closed practice. I've been covering hockey for 40 years. Nothing happens at a practice. It's all secret. So who's my starting goalie? Who cares? You're going to put him in the net. We're going to try to score on him. Like, come on.
Here's the only thing that I can think of why they had a closed practice, because at Four Nations last year, Spec, or whenever it was, they had they ran that play on the power play and they scored the first goal off that. Do you remember the goal that went through Matthias Ekholm's right under the toe of his skate? It was a lucky pass. It was a lucky pass that got through. And I'm thinking then they showed the video of them practicing that play. So that's the only thing I can think of.
Sure. I mean, a power play alignment, a play you're making on the power play. I mean, I guess I understand how you would say, I don't want the Swedish coaches sitting in my practice watching me practice. Like, that's fair. That's just etiquette. What's a Canadian coach doing at a USA practice? You got no business there. Like, that's fair. But I don't know. Listen.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's the same. Like when we go down, well, not here, but when I was working at Global, we couldn't shoot anything during practice. During Edmonton Eskimos practices, we couldn't shoot anything.
Yeah, because football people are abnormally and absurdly paranoid.
Wow.
Right?
So maybe they allow the reporters in and no cameras and no, you can't shoot anything with your camera phone.
Yeah. I mean, football history is littered with people who posed as global cameramen who in fact work for the other team. Like, that's been going on in football for years. Football people have cheated at practice. It's gone on forever. So that whole football thing is founded in some basis of actual, things that have happened in real life, not hockey. Like, hockey's not football. Football's different. You line up in a strategic formation, and everybody has a particular role to play that they all run exactly where it's scripted, and that's our play. And it lasts for 5 seconds, and then we have a huddle and we make a new play. Hockey's not like that.
Too much fluidity. Yeah, it's way different.
Hockey doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Like,
there's so
you lose
much
the draw, and the whole plan goes to hell. You don't have a plan anymore because now you don't have the puck. Right?
Very, very rarely do drawn up plays work in hockey. Very rarely. Very, very rarely. So,
and I would say to you that, like, the Oilers, an NHL team that barely ever gets to practice like the rest of them, most of their set plays, I'm not telling you they never practice them, but they draw them up in the film room and they talk about them in the film room and they do it all on video. And do they get to run it over at practice? They probably do 1 or 2 times, but not a whole bunch. Right?
The only play I can remember this year as a set play is Leon winning the draw and immediately getting into his spot for a one-timer.
That one play.
And that's happened twice. I don't recall. And when they bring the whiteboard out, with a minute and a half left on a timeout, it doesn't work. That's not the play that they drew up. If they score a goal, that's not how it happened.
It almost never worked. No, that's my whole point. We've come full circle. Hockey's not football. So why are we closing practices? So
they just don't want the reporters in their spec. They've had it with you guys.
Yeah, they've had it with us guys. I know. Well, it's it's their fault when they win and it's our fault when they lose. So we're actually good to have around for that.
All right, Spec. Thanks, big guy. Enjoy that Canada-USA game. It's on in about 4 hours. So you got just accomplish something before that game.
Okay. That's my goal in life. Thanks. Okay. I'm off.
See you, Spec. It's Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. On the Mark, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet, Buick, GMC. And again, the Corvettes are coming. Spring's coming. Check them out in the showroom at Northgate GM and check them out at northgategm.com. When we come back, Frank Saravalli in Italy. That's right after the break. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet, Buick, GMC. Free trips, free iPads, a barbecue, a wood stove, the #1 dealer in the world. What? Who cares? How about no pressure, a great deal, finance rates as low as 0%, trade values you can be happy with, and an indoor showroom. And we're pretty good people. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
McValue breakfast meals are $5 plus tax every day. Get a sausage McMuffin, bagel with cream cheese product, or breakfast burrito with hash brown and small coffee, all for just $5 plus taxes. Available until 11 a.m. at Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Your all-access pass to the world of sports is Edmonton's only sports radio station.
From pre- and post-game hockey shows to in-depth analysis from your favorite commentators, the action never stops on Sports 1440.
Considering an EV, Subaru is the right choice. Discover their latest electric vehicle innovations, starting with the brand new Solterra, in stock and ready to test drive. Or the Trail Seeker, an EV at its core, a Subaru at heart, and built for adventure. Or the Uncharted This Sporty, all-new small compact SUV brings new levels of driving enjoyment to the all-electric space. Right now, Subaru is offering interest rates as low as 0.49%. Welcome to electric. Welcome to Subaru.
Whoa, I gotta put some money on the game tonight. We hit our monthly budget. Whoa, how did you get in here? I'm you, the responsible you. We're right. We'll play another time. Sounds more like us.
If you gamble, use your game sense. Visit GameSenseAB.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Loca Quality Market. Every fresh crafted gourmet meal is handcrafted from scratch with fresh ingredients and arrives at your door fully cooked and ready to eat, heat, and repeat. Order at meals.loca.ca.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 8:20 in Edmonton, and time now for the headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Rooter Plumbing, draining clogged pipes like three-pointers. For all your plumbing needs, go to mrrooter.ca as we welcome in Frank Saravalli from Victory Plus TV in Italy. Good morning, Frank.
How you doing, Kevin?
Good, Frank. How are you there? How's it going in Italy, big guy?
So I actually made a change to my schedule. I'm leaving tomorrow, and for good reason. I coach the high school team, and we actually ended up on Friday advancing to the league final, which is tonight. And so last game of the season, and I just couldn't leave these kids hanging. So I had to move my flight back.
Good for you, Frank. So how did was it the semifinal? Is that how it worked, or
Yeah, semifinal was on Friday, and then final is tonight.
Oh, really? Well, so the kids must be playing pretty well. What's going on?
Yeah, they've been good. It's been fun, and I had them all over yesterday for dinner. Just a quick little fuel up before tonight's game, and I mean, it's just wild. These kids are like, all they want to do is go play mini sticks. They're like 13 and 14-year-olds playing against 18-year-olds. It's pretty crazy.
You had the whole crew over at your house, or what?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow, that must have been a real gong show. So this team you're playing, what's it look like? How do you guys stack up against them?
It should be good. We've played this team twice. They're, as mentioned, a bit older than us, and we tied them twice. So probably should have lost the first one, probably should have won the second one, and that creates a pretty interesting matchup.
Wow. Well, good luck tonight, Frank. And so you head over to...
Yeah, so getting on a plane tomorrow. And I won't miss any of the Canada or U.S. games.
Oh, that's pretty good. So you'll get in really, well, basically you get in on technically
Thursday morning. Yep. And then right to the rink.
Oh, good stuff. Frank Saravalli with us heading to Italy. I thought he was there already, but still hanging around Philly area. So what have you made of things so far with the Olympic men's teams, the USA and Canada? More so because I haven't spoken to you, Frank, I guess, since the additions were made with the replacement players, and with the two players coming in Bennett and looking how they're going to fit in here. What do you make of how the replacement players were named here, Frank?
Look, I understand the reasoning why. The comfortability factor of having two guys that were part of your team last year, and you're also selecting the reigning Conn Smythe Trophy winner. So, I mean, that's an easy fit in Sam Bennett. I wonder in the end if Canada got a little complacent, and I'm not nitpicking. I think they were definitely complacent on their blue line and took comfortability over players that have been playing better this season. And there were some cases to be made for Zach Hyman, for Wyatt Johnson, for Mark Scheifele, probably to a lesser extent, Connor Bedard. But there were lots of different choices, and I get why they did it. In the end, I don't think the offense or forward group is going to be Canada's issue. I think their success in this tournament hinges squarely on their defense and goaltending.
Well, I'm with you, Frank, in the sense that I think this team is too Four Nations face-off-ish compared to what we may have seen. So, hey, it remains to be seen, and it's gold or bust for both.
You can make that
teams.
argument about the U.S. too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the truth.
Yeah, it's gold or bust
They
for
left
both
off
these teams.
They left off 3 top 10 scorers in the league.
Yeah. Frank Saravalli with us. So when the Canadians rolled out, and it was a close practice yesterday, when they rolled out their lines, they had the 3 centermen individually on different lines in McDavid, McKinnon, and Crosby. Do you think that's the way that this will play out, or do you think that 2 of the 3 will be on the top 6?
I think it's going to change in game. I think John Cooper has an incredibly enviable ability to stack lines in key situations late in the period. If you're chasing a goal, whatever it might be, that's one option. And 2, I think it's going to be a bit of a moving target. I think. Say that again?
Yeah, we got you, Frank, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I think it's going to be a bit of a moving target as this tournament evolves. The preliminary round games are going to be really important because they're going to have to find some chemistry, and that's one thing that they struggled with, particularly with Connor McDavid in Four Nations until really you got to that gold medal game in the latter part of it. They couldn't find a fit that they thought unlocked the best in him.
When you look at who's playing with whom here, Frank, is there someone with Wilson playing with McDavid to start, if that's how it appears and how it plays out to start, what do you like about that combination?
Well, I think the brawn and the physicality of Wilson is certainly on display. And the big brain nature that Macklin Celebrini has, I mean, he's a really intelligent player. I wouldn't be surprised to see that get flipped around a little bit. Like if you said to me at some point in this tournament that Brandon Hagel is playing on Connor McDavid's wing, like I view them as similar stylistic players, him and Brandon Hagel and Zach Hyman, that I think there would be an interesting fit there. And, you know, if you said at some point that Tom Wilson also gets flipped down to the bottom 6, I don't think anyone would be surprised by that either. So I think they're trying a few different things. I think John Cooper's probably got a number of different combinations that are scattered on piles of cocktail napkins. And they're going to have to work through it to find something that works. And not saying this doesn't work, but I think it's going to be a lot of experimentation.
Frank Saravalli with us on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. Canada opens up against the Czechs on Thursday morning. Sneaky team, and maybe because of their goaltending, they could go with any one of their 3 goalies who are playing extremely well so far this season. What do you make of this Czech squad? I mean, in a 1-game showdown with a guy like, game breakers like Pasternak and Netjes and the 3 goalies they got, you never know with this team.
I think, Czechia for me is the sneaky medal favorite. Yeah. I think they're, between the goaltending that you mentioned and some of the firepower that they have up front. I know a couple of people have said, oh, look out for Germany. They could do the same thing. I think Germany just gets a lot thinner. And the thing about Czechia that a lot of people aren't talking about is Sidney Crosby and Drew Doughty both have pairs of Olympic gold medals. But Czechia has 5 players on their roster, with almost a quarter of their roster with Olympic experience. And I think that means something too. Like, it may not be all the Stanley Cup experience that Team Canada has. And I crunched the numbers last night, 20 Stanley Cups, 5 Conn Smythe trophies and a partridge and a pear tree, 4 gold medals. I mean, the experience factor, I think, that's the biggest differentiator for me between Canada and the US. It's not so much position by position. It's this expectation to win and their ability to manage and handle the pressure that comes inherently with wearing that jersey.
Yeah. You know, I was saying earlier, Frank, between Vejmelka, Dostal, and Vladar, they might have the best depth of any country at goaltending. Is that crazy to say?
Probably. I mean, I'd probably lean toward the U.S.
Yeah, but I mean, think about how Hellebuck's played this year. I mean, all 3 of these guys. Ottinger hasn't been great either here, Frank. Look at all these 3 guys. These 3 guys this year, and I'm talking about this year, have been really, really good.
Yeah, but I've followed the Ducks very closely. Like, Dostal has had some real ups and downs, right? He had a significant stretch well under 900.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think there's been ups and downs for a lot of goalies. You're right that the Czech tandem or trio is really impressive. And like for me, in my bracketology, I have the Czechs winning the bronze medal. So you don't have to convince me. I think there's been so much written and talked about Sweden and Finland that people are probably really overlooking the Czechs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you, Frank. I think this game is going to be a lot harder than people think here in Canada for Canadian hockey fans come Thursday. Hey, I got to switch gears to the Oilers, and I know there's been so much talk about Paul Coffey and the possibility of him returning to the coaching staff here. But some people think, as far as insiders go, that it's more likely to not happen. I think you are on the side that it is more likely to happen. Where are you at with everything in what we just talked about here, Frank?
So I think the way I would frame it is they're examining it. They're openly talking about it in meetings. They are discussing the possibility with Chris Knobloch and Paul Coffey. And to my knowledge, I don't know that a decision has been made one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the best way to explain the scenario is there are fences that would need to be mended. That the way things played out, differences of opinion are healthy. But I think both Chris Knobloch and Paul Coffey have probably been pretty stubborn at times in their viewpoints that led to just more disagreements than normal. And so I'm not like sharing or oversharing, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
but it's going to require both sides, if this does happen, to swallow a little bit of pride for the sake of the Edmonton Oilers. And I think that would be the healthiest combination for this team right now. I think that's what they need. And I'm not ready to project or predict one way or the other how that would go, meaning if it will happen. But I think I stand really firmly in the camp that it should.
When you say swallow a little pride from both sides, would you say there's a little more to swallow from Chris Knobloch's side? And I don't want to put you in a tough spot here, Frank, but I mean, Chris Knobloch.
No, I think it's both. I think this is a two-way street. I think both are, look, Paul Coffey is a very confident guy. Some would say headstrong. His resume, what he's accomplished in this game speaks for itself. And Chris Knobloch is on the quiet side, but also very confident in his belief. And I think there probably just needs to be someone. Here's the thing. Here's maybe the best way to explain it. When you have someone that you worked closely with or you were friends with and you have a disagreement or a series of disagreements, it takes someone to pick up the phone and call the other. And it could take some brokering between a mutual friend. You have someone that says, hey, how about I help get you guys back on track? I don't know what it is. And that makes it sound to someone listening, cryptic and more negative than it really is. It's just like these are grown men that are really proud and have accomplished a lot. No one really wants to be the first guy to end the freeze. And I just think that's probably what needs to happen.
Well, from my understanding, when Chris Knobloch wanted to put his stamp on this team, he felt he needed to do that without Paul Coffey moving forward, because they came
I think that's a fair characterization.
They came in as a package deal. When Jay Woodcroft was fired, they came in as a package deal. And I can tell you, Frank, 100%, when that change was made, there was absolutely maybe a fraction of people in this town that thought that Paul Coffey would be good in a return behind the bench. Not a return to the organization in that capacity. And it changed as far as their success went because of how successful the team was with the two of them. But when it all came down to it, and Chris Knobloch wanted to have this stamp his own team moving forward, and Paul wasn't a part of it. That's what I'm saying. I think it has to be a little more, if you're going to swallow some pride, I think it has to be a little more from the Knobloch camp.
I don't know that I agree. I'm telling you, I believe it's truly a two-way street, and I'm not hedging. And I'll tell you why. From the Knobloch side, it's great that you want to put your own stamp and have your own vision, but he hired too many people to surround himself that are like him. And you need people that can challenge you and question the status quo.
Mm-hmm.
And on the Coffey end, it isn't always your way or the highway. And so I think there's a mutual ground that can be found, and an ability for everyone to coexist in a world where there isn't an incredible amount of friction that goes to help the Edmonton Oilers. And I'm not saying there was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying that when you have a more loud person and a more quiet person, sometimes that air gets swallowed up. And I think there's a common ground that can be found.
Yeah, I also think they miss Glenn Gulletson more than anyone's talked about this year. More so. Maybe.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And the experience that he has as someone who was able to and has been through a lot of different scenarios and situations, someone who was able to also be there to be a sounding board for everyone, for players, for the other coaches. He was a huge part of making that all work.
Thanks for the insight on this, Frank. Congrats on how the team's done so far. Your team. Good luck in the final tonight. Safe travels to Italy tomorrow. And
thank you. Yeah, and I'll talk to you on Thursday.
Yeah, I'll talk to you on Thursday. Just when you get to Italy, back to the homeland, what's going to be your first Italian meal in your homeland, Frank?
Oh, I don't know how much time I'm going to have on Thursday. I'm going to be kind of grinding right over to the rink. I'd say first order of business will be a quality espresso after an overnight flight. And yeah, I'm excited. I've been all over Italy, but I've actually never been to Milan. So this will be a different version of Italy than I'm used to.
Good stuff, Frank. Safe travels. We'll talk to you on Thursday.
See you, Kevin. Thanks.
Frank Saravalli from Victory Plus TV. And our headliner of the day brought to you by Mr. Rooter, the true goat of local plumbing. That's mrrooter.ca. So good insight there, I think, on the Paul Coffey situation. And again, there are some insiders, if you will, that think there's more of a possibility. Some insiders that think it's less of a possibility. Team Dean just texted in. I think what KK, I think that's me, he's saying. It's on the coach to be the adult and reach out. Sometimes when people text in KK, it's Chris Knobloch too. So that is sort of what I'm getting at. And again, just because of how I've looked at it from the beginning of the year, when Chris Knobloch wanted to assemble this staff, this was his staff. And the one thing that Frank said that does make sense, you have to have people on your staff that challenge you. It can't, if everyone's all on the same page, then what are we doing here? Because then you only have basically one vision, one opinion, one outlook on things. There are so many ways to look at things. Whether it could be how a player is handled, how a practice is handled, how a game situation is handled. When you have the varying opinions and then come up with the best solution, that's where basically the success comes from. So we'll get to more of that and your text 833-401-1440 when the Kevin Karius Show returns with the Duke of Delburne. Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Hello. You're never going to believe this. Booster Juice called your name today. You can get a free smoothie or acai bowl.
No way. I'm heading there now.
Oh my gosh, you and my brother had the same name. Okay, I'm calling in next. I'm hanging up.
Booster Juice Names of the Day is back. 2 names are selected each day, and if your name matches, you can get a free smoothie or an acai bowl. Watch for your name on the Booster Rewards app and social media. Must be an app member to qualify. Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Exciting news from St. Albert Dodge. The all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages have arrived. They have a great selection and a bunch of colors to choose from. And if you've checked out the Sport, you know it comes in some fun colors. Rugged capability, practical off-road features, and you can get behind the wheel for as low as $49,900. That's right. Put yourself in a brand new Jeep Gladiator Sport for less than $50,000. What more can you ask for? Time to head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
There's a lot of great seasons in Alberta. Hockey season, harvest season, the winter season, and the even more winter season. But GS Construction is already preparing for our next great season because while the city slows down, we plan ahead. Projects, people, and pipelines. Everything starts taking shape for another strong year underground. We're also getting ready for our next hiring season in March. We want new people who want to build something that lasts. For more on us and to apply, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Are you looking for an affordable business, group, or team outing this season? Why not catch the excitement of a game with the 5-time Junior Hockey League champions, the Spruce Grove Saints? With extremely affordable group and suite packages available and some of the lowest food and drink prices around, Saints games are the perfect night for your next group event. Get your group in on the action. For more information, visit sgsaints.ca.
Game day sauce.
Buddy, quit rolling up to the bar and looking like it's grade 9 grad and you're wearing your dad's old work suit. Do yourself a favor and call Game Day Suits.
Game Day Suits is Alberta-based and makes fully customizable, made-to-order suits. Perfect for hockey teams, wedding parties, or even the office crew. Book your free consultation at GameDaySuits.ca.
I'm rocking one right now. I look deadly.
You know they can't see you, right?
Okay, Mr. Announcer, you want to go, tough guy?
Game Day Suits.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the 2 best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Sports 1440.
All sports,
all day.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Thanks for listening to Edmonton's sports leader.
Program 843 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne. Josh Fenwick with you here on Sports 1440 AM radio. Duke had to get your little B&D in there, eh?
Love some B&D. On a Tuesday? Of course.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not? Is right.
Why not?
Why not? Man, a lot of text rolling in regarding the conversation that we had with Frank Sarvalli regarding Paul Coffey. Before we get to a lot of those texts, I wanted to mention this text from Crotch. He says, I coached the U15 team for the Southside Athletic Club. Just got back from Calgary for a tournament where Macklin Celebrini's little brother, RJ Celebrini, lit up the tournament. That kid is going to be good. Can't imagine, if you look at what Macklin Celebrini is doing as a 19-year-old, RJ Celebrini is only 14. Born in 2012. He's playing in North Vancouver. He's a BC guy, obviously. He's playing for the North Shore under 15 team. 52 games. He's got 66 goals and 71 assists for 137 points as a 14-year-old. He's 5'3", 115 pounds. He was at the Brick here. How many years ago was he at the Brick? 21, 22. He was at the Brick Invitational here in the mall that has it all. Now, if you think about Macklin Celebrini's numbers, and I think there's even another brother. I don't know how old the younger brother is. There's another one coming too, but RJ Celebrini, one to keep an eye on for sure. Text 833-401-1440. Northside Lou says, I can't see Coffey on board unless it's after Knobloch is let go, which I predict 100% happens this summer. Bowman gets a free pass until he brings in his own guy. Well, okay, he didn't bring in Chris Knobloch, Northside Lou, but he signed Chris Knobloch to a contract extension. So Chris Knobloch is Stan Bowman's guy, or else he would not have signed him to that extension. Crow's Nest Oiler, and we were talking about someone possibly facilitating, Frank and I, facilitating a conversation that maybe has to happen if this were to happen. And he talked about Craig McTavish being a possibility. Well, I'm sure there are people that are talking to both sides here and saying, what is the best possible scenario for this organization? And is it the return of Paul Coffey? So does Chris Knobloch have to say, all right, I might have to just look back at this and we were running smoother when Paul was here? If that's not the case, if he doesn't feel that and the answer's within, then he moves forward. But so far, that answer has not been coming from within, has it? Ty Guy says, I agree. Team needs completing parts. Coach appears to approach the coaching staff the same way he deploys his forwards. I don't know if I totally agree with that. But the one thing, again, when you look at it, when you have a team concept, and as far as the organization goes, where you have, look at it, you've got the president, then you've got the GM, and now you have the assistant GM. Then you have, your head coach and assistant coach, and then you have, defense coach, and et cetera, et cetera. Well, if everyone's on the same view of everything, you're not going to have great success because everyone has the same vision. You need pushback from parts of the organization where maybe the normal fan doesn't see. Think about how teams go into the NHL draft, and certain scout says, this guy, he's my number one. I like this guy. This guy's got to be, you have certain players ranked at certain levels, certain numbers. Well, if everyone had the same number, well, what the hell good would that do? Go back to a draft like when Ryan Smith was drafted. And Lauren Davis said, who was one of the scouts for the Oilers at the time, if you don't take this guy, I might as well not even be I might as well quit. this is the guy that we need. And there were some other guys in the organization said, no, I don't think so. But Lauren Davis pushed and pushed and pushed. Who'd they draft before? Ryan Smith. Jason Bonsignor. Didn't work out because some guys said, oh, this guy's going to turn into the next whatever. But he didn't have what it takes inside. Lauren Davis watched Ryan Smith a million times. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that if you have certain individuals in your organization at whatever level it is, you have to have varying opinions, or else I don't think that success will follow. Hey, Duke, have I been missing anything here on the text line? Because a lot of them have flown in. I like the one there about Macklin Celebrini's brother, though. Holy cow.
Yeah, pretty impressive stuff.
Those are some big numbers. Holy smokes.
But no, otherwise, I think you've nailed them all down. Obviously, as you kind of implied when we came out of that last break following your conversation with Frank, that quite a few flooded in with differing opinions on how to approach this potential Coffey Knobloch dilemma, if you want to call it that. But no, I think you grabbed them all.
Yeah. Northside says KK had been to 2 finals. His contract was up. What would any GM do but sign him? Not his guy, but both things can be true. I see where you're coming from. But he still had the ability to go, maybe this isn't the guy. Like, how many times, Duke, have we seen a coaching change made where maybe that guy isn't the guy that takes the team all the way to a championship in any sport? We've seen, like, think about even Lou Lamoriello, man, when he made a coaching change, with 10 games left? Larry Robinson came in how many years ago, and the Devils went on to win the Stanley Cup because Lamoriello felt that the guy that was fired, I can't remember who it even was now back then, wasn't the guy that could take them all the way. 833-401-1440. Ron says, good morning, KK. So this coaching management situation has blown up on what I would say Leon was completely right in speaking out on all fronts. Grown men better get their act together. Otherwise, the Oilers team will suffer due to the lack of chemistry between the coaching staff, the team, and management. It's kind of what we've been saying here, Ron. So I get your points for sure. Just watching the women's moguls too on the Olympics here in the Sportsnet 1440 studios. Qualifying standings, I think we had one Canadian at 6. And the Duke was talking about how he would be able to handle these moguls quite easily. And I said, Duke, you wouldn't make her down the first 3 moguls.
I wonder how many bumps I would take before my knees just exploded, like in their entirety. The ligaments, the bones, all of them. Just in turn, then I just have another tube of gravel below my hip. But
that has to be so hard on.
I think back to when I was growing up skiing, and even as an adult when I was, a pretty accomplished skier, on the mountains and stuff. But then you see those the mogul runs, and I mean like the real mogul runs, and just for fun, you're like, well, let's take a little spin down there and see how we can fare. And you to actually even try and take them in the way that the pros do, where you're actually on back and forth each switchback, it's nearly impossible. Instead, you're like maybe taking out every second or third one, and bowing out because they're all the way across the hill if we're talking on a ski hill. But it was always fun to try, right? Go down there and bob your way along.
You end up in the biggest zigzag possible.
100%. Yeah, it's not like watching the pros when it's a straight line down. You've got quite a bit more ground covered side to side.
And sometimes you're even going back up the hill.
At times. For sure.
For one mogul or whatever it would
absolutely.
Be. BC Oiler texts in, I agree with you and Frank on the Team Canada hockey roster. People seem to forget that they just barely won the 4 Nations last year. Would you be shocked if this Olympic team did not medal? Would I be shocked? I'll tell you what, I don't have the Canadian team to win gold, Duke. So I don't have the Canadian team to win gold. I would be shocked if they did not medal. How does that sound? So I don't have Canada winning the gold medal. I just don't think. I think the U.S. is a little bit better, and I think there are some other teams that could sneak in here somehow, and that means there's a possibility that they could beat Canada in a semifinal game. In the one-game showdown, you never know. And the rules are so wacky as far as overtime goes. They change from the preliminary round to the qualifying round to the quarters and semis to the gold medal game where it's 20 minutes in the gold medal game, a 3-on-3 for the gold medal game. So Tim says the moguls are kind of like a Buzz Lightyear situation, falling with style.
You ever seen Toy Story, Kevin?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, okay. Then that joke is lost on you. It's a good joke from Tim.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Tim. Hammer says, I bet the Americans don't medal.
A lot of differing opinions because I know BC Oiler, he had texted in last week when we were talking about the replacement of Jarvis in for Braden Point.
Yeah.
And he texted the same thing, said, I bet this team won't medal. And Donovan and I were in agreement that I'd be shocked if they didn't medal. I don't think that they are runaway favorites for a gold, but top to bottom, I firmly believe that the talent collection of players is certainly good enough that I would be very surprised if they did not win a medal.
I want to mention this text from Lucas, and this is just we hope everything works out well. A player that Lucas has texted in, it's just happened recently. An under 18 player for the Strathcona Warriors went into the boards, had a spinal cord injury. And it's there's been a GoFundMe page set in place. It's just a tough situation here. The player's name, Ethan Berry. It was a hit that was not intended, obviously, to cause an injury, but it's had terrible consequences here. But a GoFundMe page has been set up. The Strathcona Warriors, in a release, said that we support the Berry family, stand together in strength, compassion, unity, supporting Ethan through this recovery. We've had several inquiries of how the community can help Ethan. And again, there's a GoFundMe, which is going to be a big, long financial burden with rehabilitation, modifications to the home, future education. So you can check out the GoFundMe link. You can easily search this. That happened on Sunday in Ardrossan. And again, if you can help out Ethan Berry a little bit by this GoFundMe page, please do. And our thoughts and prayers are with Ethan and his family in this difficult time for sure. So keep pulling along, keep pushing, Ethan. We're all behind you. And to the Berry family, all the very, very best. Top of the hour, we got Paul Sir coming up from Hoop City. Before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update. And it is brought to you by AWS Welding Supplies in Nisku. Product sales, servicing, calibrating, free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton, your one-stop shop for all things welding, awswelding.ca. Here is the Duke.
The Sports 1440 update.
This morning from the Olympics in Italy, Canada picking up another medal, winning silver in the mixed team short track speed skating. Other Canadians in action. Women's team combined downhill. The pair of Grenier and St. Germain finished 13th in slalom, 19th in the Alpine, while Gray Nomeyer tandem finishing in 22nd. Julian Viel and Michael Kingsbury finished second and third in their heat in the men's moguls qualifier. In men's 1,000-meter speed skating, William Danjanu and Felix Roussel both finishing first in their heats, while Stephen Dubois finished third. In the women's 500-meter short track, Courtney Soreau and Kim Boutin both finished first in their heats. Florence Brunel placed second. All three will advance. Still to come today, Trinity Ellis and Emberly Susko will have their third run in the women's luge. Men's singles figure skating short program will feature Stephen Gogolev, and our women's hockey team will take on the USA just after 12 o'clock noon, but will not have captain Marie-Philippe Poulin after she got injured in yesterday's win over the Czechs. In the association last night, a feisty affair between Detroit and Charlotte saw the Pistons win 110-104. Anthony Edwards with 30 points lifts the Wolves to a 138-116 win over Atlanta. Cleveland got past Denver 119-117, and no SGA, no problem for the Thunder, beat the Lakers, who were without Luka Doncic, 119-110. Coming up in hour 3 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by Paul Sir from Hoop City, and we'll check in with a new edition of In or Out. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 Update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Mr. Rooter gets a colonoscopy.
All right, Mr. Rooter, just relax. We're almost finished.
Now, what am I looking at on the screen?
That's your large intestine.
Wow, the pipes of the human body. Incredible. This is just like when we use a camera for sewer inspection, except you probably don't find tree roots.
You'd be surprised what we find.
You know, once I found a bunch of Hot Wheels.
Hey, me too.
For a plumber who values healthy pipes, call Mr. Rooter.
Do you listen to sports radio at work? Like right now? Well, do you? Who, me? No way. I swear. Okay, friend, we won't tell. Tens of thousands of sports fans listen to Sports 1440 each and every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. If you listen to Sports 1440 at work, well, maybe it's time to advertise on Sports 1440 at work. Grow your business. Get your name out there. Shoot our ad team an email. Gregor@sports1440.ca. Let's get to work for you.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Crave is home to the reality hits everyone is talking about,
The stakes are high and trust is low.
including the Emmy-winning series, The Traitors.
The gloves are off, and we're going to be throwing haymakers right from the beginning.
Get ready for even more murder and mayhem from celebrity contestants like Mama Kelsey and Lisa Rinna.
I'm going to play this game in a way that no one's ever played it.
The Traitors. Stream now on Crave. Subscribe at crave.ca.
Let's play.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
Back to the big program 901 in Edmonton. We've been talking a lot of Olympics. We've been talking, obviously a lot of Oilers and a lot of other things this morning, but I'm going to talk a little basketball now with Paul Serve from Hoop City. Good morning, Paul. You're with Kevin Karius. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440. As always, really appreciate it.
You know, Kevin, if you didn't have the black background,
yeah,
I think you'd be looking at one of those situations where you just see a pair of glasses in your shirt because your skin color after your trip to Mexico is exactly the same.
Oh, I was going to say like the orange, right? It's like,
it's just, what a great tan.
Well, are you saying like I'm kind of Donald Trumpish here, Paul, or what?
I'm not going to go there, but you're much better looking than the Donald is. You're wearing it well.
I appreciate that. Hey, you know what? I'm going to leave because I was talking about some certain things with your old sidekick, Josh Fenwick here. And I was talking about, hey, what are we going to talk to Paul about? And, because I told him when I crawled into the fart sack last night, the OKC Lakers game was on. But I said, did you watch it? He goes, no. It was the Pistons and Hornets for me and the little brawl that they had. So I'm going to leave that for later with old Joshy boy. And that's where I wanted to start with last night's OKC Lakers game because, without the star power, it was still a decent game. But you always want to see the best players play each other, don't you, Paul?
Absolutely. I mean, it was 65 points between the two of them sitting on the sidelines. Yeah. And that's a big gap for both teams. Now, the Thunder obviously wore it well and performed better than the Lakers. The Lakers they're not as bad as they were. I think getting Austin Reeves back is such a huge injection for them. LeBron continues to play, very well. He's in the 20s most nights and lots of assists, double-digit rebounding. But you certainly want to see these guys get healthy. And the topic of health has been such a prevalent conversation point through this whole entire NBA season thus far.
So why is that, Paul? Is it just one of those freak years where there are more guys going down? Like, in the NHL, everyone's saying, the condensed schedule, the Olympics, so many back-to-backs and 3 and 4s. What is it in the NBA this year, you think?
Well, I think it's a compilation of all of those things. It is a heavy schedule. There is a lot of travel there, but I think what's happening in the NBA, and I haven't followed it in other sports, Kevin, but in the NBA, there's a lot of science and a lot of medicine going into trying to figure out what the cause of these serious injuries to star players is all about. And it seems like where it's trending right now, and I don't think there's any absolute answers, but it's probably a compilation of factors, is the game's faster than it's ever been. That's true.
Yeah.
The players on the court have to run so much further in today's game than they did, let's say, back in the Larry Bird era. You watch a Larry Bird era game, the pace is very different. Even though there's fast breaking, the kind of defense that players play at the pace and speed that they play seems to be pointing to soft tissue injuries increasing. Yeah. So I think it's a compilation of things, but it's still a mystery with all of the science, technology, nutrition, strength, conditioning, stretching, everything that's available. It's still perplexing to people of why so much is happening in the soft tissue area, hamstrings, calves, that sort of thing. So, but it is a reality, and the solutions are hard to come by, and they would strike, most of the solutions would strike right at the heart of the most painful point for the NBA, and that's fewer games. That means less money.
Yeah, well, it's the whole thing. If everyone just took a cut, and in the major sports like football, they're talking about even going to another game here to 18. But if basketball and hockey could just go back to like 72 or something like that, I think it would just be so much better. But we know it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. And Paul, you and I we're old codgers, man. We're on playing hole 18 here. But when you mentioned like Larry Bird and everything, and every sport, they're bigger, stronger, faster, quicker. But I don't know if the game's better. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I do know what you mean. And I don't disagree with you. What's better is the talent pool. Like when you watch the talent, the teams 1 through 14 or 1 through 12 or 1 through 14 in the NBA back in the 80s and 90s, and you get past player number 8 or 9, the talent drop-off was much greater than it is today in terms of just raw physical talent, skill level, athletic ability, all those things. The athleticism off the charts in comparison. Is the game better? Is it more watchable? I will say this, in some respects, yes, there are apples and oranges here in the cause and effect of that extra athleticism. But I would take that perspective, Kevin, to could Larry Bird, could Michael Jordan, could Magic Johnson play in today's game? Hell yes.
For sure.
It would kill. Jordan could average pretty much whatever Jordan wanted to average in today's game, in my opinion. He could average 40. The way the game is called now compared to how it was back then, Larry Bird, absolutely. Hakeem Olajuwon, absolutely. Shaq, David Robinson, they could thrive in today's game. No question about it. Even though small ball, shoot the three, analytics, all that garbage. Watchability, the game's fun to watch now. It was fun to watch then.
Yeah. The stars are players in every era, no matter what sport you're talking about.
Yes.
The very best of the best could play in any era. I always look at hockey, Frank, as it's probably more of my expertise.
Absolutely.
And if you look back to the 80s and before that, the fourth lines and the goaltending was not very good.
Right.
Especially the backups and things like that. For many teams, but many of the fourth lines, I don't think they're playing in today's game. but the legit stars, as you say, you mentioned all of them, Magic and Bird and Shaq and all these guys, the Admiral, they're playing and they're thriving. They're thriving.
100%. And I think to your point, isn't it the natural progression and evolution, if you want to apply that term to sport? More training, more sophisticated, more volume of players. All of those factors lead to growth, improvement, and expansion. That doesn't mean what was then wasn't relevant now. Mm-hmm. That combined with the awful remark that J.J. Redick made about Kuzi era guys are plumbers and firemen. Horrible comment by that lowered my opinion that stays low of J.J. Redick. But those are the shoulders you're standing on, and the reason you've got all those zeros at the end of your checkbook now are the guys that carved the way for a quarter of those zeros on the back of their checkbook. So they had to be a plumber in order to make ends meet. But they're the ones that created the foundation for the game that you're playing today.
Yeah, that was great. I loved your perspective on that. I think the game of the night last night was that Cavs and Denver game. No, Paul?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Denver's interesting. Since Jokic is back, I believe they're 1-4, and it's not. I don't even know if they've got injuries, but everybody's got injuries. Cleveland, we're seeing some early returns, positive returns from the James Harden trade, because he does make everybody better. He complements the rest of the Cavs very nicely. Impressive comeback, because Denver had I wouldn't call it a comfortable lead, but enough of a lead to feel like they were almost in control of the game. But then in the fourth quarter, Cleveland just kept chipping away and found a way to win in Denver. Very impressive.
Who's a better team right now, Cleveland or the Raptors?
Ooh, good. Little early for me. Little early to tell how good Cleveland really is, although they have a couple of impressive wins. If I were to pick today, and you had a healthy Cleveland team playing a healthy Toronto team in a 7-game series, I'd probably pick Cleveland. Mm-hmm. I think they have a little bit more in the experience category that might make a difference. But the Raptors continue to roll. They're playing really, really well. So I don't want to in any way downgrade them. This has been an impressive season for Toronto.
Yeah, if I would ask you that question at the start of the year, your answer would have been 100% Cleveland.
100%.
Now, at least it's, maybe it's 60-40 or 55-45. So
100%. It's really close. It'd be a tough call, and that's a series that I think right now could go either way.
Right. Joshy boy, you ready to talk about the Charlotte-Detroit game here with Paul, or what? You are? Are you sure? You don't seem like you're prepared over there.
Just talking.
Oh,
no. So
okay,
my headphones got unplugged. That's what happened. I couldn't hear anything. But we're good now. We're good. Hey, Paul, how's it going?
Good, Josh. Good. I'm glad you can hear me.
Yeah, no, I'm glad I can hear you too. So, Paul, why is Lucas so good?
That's great.
So last night, I think we saw the closest thing since Malice in the Palace to a big fight. What's your take on that between the Pistons and Hornets?
Well, the cause of the fight was odd, because the push, the foul that led to the push to the face didn't seem like it was an egregious foul. I don't know what bad blood may have been boiling before that might have led to that kind of response. But it was interesting to see, I thought, just how quickly things escalate. As soon as somebody, and I mean, hockey and fighting are to the non-hockey fan are synonymous, but basketball, it's rare, and it's much, there's a low tolerance for it. So I think, I don't understand why it had to start. It seemed like an overreaction by both players. But then whenever that happens and guys start doing the macho thing that I guess we do, is we're defending our teammates, we have each other's backs, like all of that stuff, it just escalated. Fortunately, nobody got hurt. That's the main thing. It did escalate too quickly for all the wrong reason. It was mayhem on the court. It remember when you see the rebroadcast of it, it's just all the people piling out there, the punches being thrown. But there again, I hope it's much ado about nothing. There will be some, I would have guessed, suspensions and fines. You hope it's not a trend. I think it's a one-off that just got out of hand quickly for whatever reason.
All right. Cool. Thanks for your thoughts on that. Don't look at me like that, Brandon. I still have a follow-up question.
You do, eh?
Staying on the topic of the Hornets, they're kind of rolling. They were on a 9-game win streak going into last night. Possibly going to make a real push at the playoffs here.
Hornets are good right now. Like, they're playing really well. Ball has come into his own as an impact player, but the supporting cast. Here's where I think their drafting of Kneppel really is paying off. You've got a guy who is not only a skill player, but a glue guy who plays with exuberance every night. He competes every play. He's always positive. He's always battling. And I think when you get that kind of energy from a key player who can play, not a guy that comes in and gives you a couple of hard minutes, dives for loose balls. Kneppel can really play. Mm-hmm. And I think he has just taken the talent that they've built up. And now you can give a little bit of credit to Michael Jordan and his front office for some good draft picks that are starting to pay dividends for them, because 3 of their top 5 players are were drafted by the Hornets, and they're playing at a very high level. I love to see this kind of story every year. It seems like a new team that you don't expect emerges, and the Hornets are certainly in that pattern right now. And we'll see now that they've lost one and they had this upheaval, if they can get back on track again.
Paul Sir with us on Sports 1440. You good, Josh?
Yeah, thanks for the time, Paul. Have a great day. See you on Saturday.
All right, see you then, Josh. Thank you.
Hey, the NBA All-Star game this weekend in LA, Paul. Are you a big fan?
I'm sorry.
I know. Are you? Is there any part of the All-Star weekend festivities that you enjoy?
Only part I like is the shootout, the 3-point shooting competition. I don't personally enjoy any of the rest of it. Like the games are dreadful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. On one hand, you can see all this skill on display. On the other hand, it's an irritating form of showing off is the way, because it's not true competition. I know they keep tinkering with the formula, Kevin, trying to make it interesting in some way. But honestly, for me, it's a very tired, it's a very tiring weekend that I just look at as not very interesting, not very effective. But I still love the 3-point shootout.
Anything like with the Rising Stars that, is like, I think that's Friday, and, there's some things that before Saturday night and Sunday. Anything like that intrigue you, Paul?
I like the Rising Stars. Well, okay. Number one, because we have an Edmonton connection with Sean East of the Stingers on behalf of the G League being part of that. That's exciting. Okay. I think you make a good point. If there is a group that does not get the kind of attention that the Stars themselves do, it would be the Rising Stars, and giving a focal point, giving a spotlight to those young players. And again, I really like the injection of G League players who are scratching and clawing, trying to get 2-way deals, trying to find their way into the league, get to the show. This gives people an opportunity to watch them play. G League basketball to watch on television is not a great product. It's pretty dreadful. So in this way, where it's integrated into with the NBA players, you have the whole nation watching.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. And let me say this: if you're there, I bet it's a lot of fun. It would be very cool to be there. The hype, all of that. But to me, curmudgeonly. I'm being curmudgeonly about it, Kevin. So I haven't been excited about an all-star game for a long, long time.
In any sport, really, in any sport.
Yeah.
You mentioned Sean East. Can he use this at all as maybe a bit of a stepping stone, down the road? I mean, you've said many times, best guy to come into the CEBL since Xavier Moon.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I'm curious. Like Sean's having a wonderful season.
Yeah.
And like Xavier, who also went to the G League and blew it up and found his way to a two-way deal and, a series of 10 days. And it made a big step in his career financially and certainly prestige-wise. I think Sean certainly has the ability to do that. I hope he's with a team and a franchise that looks at his skill set and says this can be a fit for us, particularly like in Utah's case, they're tanking this year. So, I mean, they're going to be looking for every way possible not to play their best players, to get their record as bad as possible, even though they made a big step in bringing Triple J in. So, I hope for Sean, this is another one of those building block stepping stones that he deserves to have, because the guy's really good. And he was so outstanding last year. Like, in my opinion, he was there was Sean and everybody else on the Stingers. No disrespect to anybody else on the Stingers, but just like Xavier, just a different level.
Yeah. Anything on the local scene you wanted to mention? Bears, Pandas, as we kind of get going into the final stages up to the playoff run here?
Well, the playoffs start this weekend, and the Pandas had a tough it's been talked about a lot, like going into the second half of the ridiculously bad schedule that somehow Canada West keeps coming up with.
And that's the play-in game. Is that what you're talking about, Paul?
Well, yeah, play-in game, but they change the playoff format every year. They play the first half of the season, then they're off. Like, how do you take a month off in a season between games? Like, it's just, anyway, that's a whole different deal. So the Pandas the Pandas are in tough. They're going to be playing against good teams away from home. They don't get a home date. Bears, on the other hand, surprisingly, do have a home date. So they both get going this weekend. Pandas will be out of town, like I mentioned, out in BC, and the Bears will be hosting, I believe, on Saturday. So
I think it could be
for the Bears.
It could be Friday, Paul.
Oh, the Bears on Friday?
Could be Friday, and I'm just looking here. I got
the play-in game is Friday night, and then the Bears will play the winner that Saturday.
You got that right, Duke. I just punched it up from Connor Hood here. Yeah, you are correct in that. Yeah, so it is 1:30, an afternoon game.
Yeah,
the winner UFV and the Cougars.
Winnable games for the Bears, but it is playoffs. I'm hoping the Pandas can find a way. If anybody can lead them in that direction, it's Scott Edwards. But I mean, they took a hit in the second half, losing to both Calgary and Saskatchewan, who finished for the first time in 52 years with a 20-0 regular season record, and then splitting with Regina. So I mean, they had a tough second half of the season. They're gonna have to regather.
Exactly. What it was like a month? Well, it was about 2 months ago, Paul. We were talking about there were four teams at 10-0.
Yeah, exactly. The way the schedule worked out. They weak sisters in the first half and all strong teams in the second. So only the strong survive, and you got to do it when you do it. And right now the Pandas, we had Doug McLean, voice of the Pandas, on, and he talked about their offensive woes right now. They've got to find their mojo again. If they do, they'll be in every game.
What's coming up on Hoop City on Saturday, Paul?
Working on getting someone in from the Boston Celtics. Trying to finalize that. We'll have our community champion feature as well, and our deep dive as well. But to be determined yet. We've got a lot of lines in the water right now.
If only you could get a producer that could work on some of that stuff, hey, Paul?
I couldn't walk in the studio without my producer, Josh Fenwick. So
he's just grinning over here. He knows that he gets a cut or a dig every once in a while.
But I did think of, and I think an algorithm brought up Chris Farley interviewing Paul McCartney. Remember when you played? That was awesome.
That was awesome. Yeah. Remember when Luka Doncic was good? Oh yeah, that was awesome.
That was awesome. Remember when you hit that shot from half court? That was awesome.
Thanks, Paul.
All right, Kevin.
Have a great week and a great show on Saturday.
All right. Keep that tanning butter going.
Oh, I know. It's just, a little moisturizer every once in a while, Paul. Thanks, big guy. Paul's here from Hoop City. You hear him weekly here, 10 o'clock to 12 on Saturdays with Josh Fenwick. Is this true that there was a thing with the Chris Farley, Paul McCartney? Remember that? And that was awesome, eh?
I couldn't tell you with confidence.
I'll
if
be
that
honest with
happened
you.
or
You
not.
know what? This could be a new interviewing style for you.
What?
Well,
leading off with, hey, why is Luka Doncic so good at basketball?
No. If you went the route of Chris Farley,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so you probably haven't seen this, have you?
Probably not. I'll have to YouTube it later.
You YouTube Chris Farley and Paul McCartney, and it was from Saturday Night Live, and basically he would say just what Paul was saying. Remember that song he wrote? That was awesome. That was awesome, right? Yeah.
Oh, maybe I have seen that. Also, if he got a producer that could do that stuff for him, when I talked to Paul and he hired me to be his producer, he's like, I'll take care of the guests. Don't worry. It was like what Low Tide said to Connor Halley when he started producing for him all those moons ago. It's like, oh, all right. You just got to come in and make sure the trains run on time.
Oh, boy. Hey, when we come back, Duke, maybe we'll do in or out just to make sure it gives us the best allotted time. You know what I mean?
Sure.
How does that sound?
It's ready to rock.
You ready to roll?
Sure.
We haven't done one for a while here.
Oh, man, you missed some real dandies by Donovan while you were away.
Okay, you got to give me the best couple of questions.
So Donovan did fine, as he always does. He's very good, as a matter of fact. But there was one day when it was I think last Thursday when Laddie wasn't here either, so we obviously didn't have a co-host in. Yeah. And it was the NBA trade deadline. And so Donovan leaned on Josh for maybe a little bit of a basketball question to fill that gap. Yeah. And I'm sure by that point in the week, Donovan was maybe a little taxed for topics, as he often gets. But Josh put forth this question surrounding Chris Paul being traded to the Raptors and, not being forced to report. He doesn't actually have to play, all that stuff. And just the wording of the question, I actually wasn't sure what was being asked because it ended with saying that Hakeem Olajuwon is the best player to ever actually play for the Raptors, even if he was actually he was past his prime at that time. If you catch my drift. But it also included a bunch of other names in the middle that were players were traded to the Raptors, didn't report, or maybe they did play. I was just confused. And I essentially just said, Josh, this question sucks. I felt sort of bad about it, but I think I was also warranted in that. Yeah. Listen, they can't all be winners. I know that better than anybody. I'm trying to pump out 5 of these a day.
Yeah, exactly.
They can't all be gold medals, but sometimes you just got to get the participation trophy.
That's right.
And that's what I awarded to Josh for that question last week.
Attaboy. When we come back, we'll go in or out. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick. On Sports 1440 AM radio, we are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey Culligan, I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at culligan.ca.
The longest-running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440. River Cree is the place for all your favorite sports. River Cree Resort and Casino, featuring UFC action and boxing live on the big screens at Tap 25, the MVP of sports bars, and in the Center Bar. Plus, catch all the biggest games, every goal, every slam dunk. River Cree is also home to the Twin Rinks, where rec hockey and community teams come to play. Public skating available. Details at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Winter in Alberta doesn't mess around.
And neither does Titan Supply.
For over 50 years, we've earned the trust of our customers across a variety of industries.
Because we lead with integrity,
honesty,
and respect.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Brent from Titan Supply. When the weather hits hard,
we're fully stocked with rigging, lifting, and hauling gear that works as hard as you do.
Titan Supply.
Built on trust, driven by safety.
Serving Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary.
Let us help you face the weather the Titan way.
Visit titansupply.ca.
As players get ready to represent Canada, the regular hockey season takes a break. But don't forget about your winter breaks, BRAKES. At Napa Auto Parts, you'll find gold medal level stopping power and all your other world-class automotive parts and needs, like podium-worthy Napa gold filters. Napa Auto Parts is here to support your commute, your drive to the rink, and eventually your own gold medal moment. With close to 600 locations throughout the country and over 85 in Alberta, stop into your local Napa store today. Let's go, Canada! That's Napa know-how.
The Kevin Karius Show, breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams, even though his favorite Junior A hockey team is the Yorkton Terriers. Thanks for checking in with Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 9:30 in Edmonton. Just watching the women's luge singles here at the Olympics. Canadian Trinity Ellis just went down the run. Was having a tough go navigating one of those corners. Man, out of all the events, Duke, that's a scary. I mean, would you rather do skeleton or luge?
It seems like an obvious question because you're going feet first versus head first, but also there's something about like lying on your belly that seems like it might be easier to control because more of your weight's up at the front. Maybe I'm totally backwards on that. I don't know. I've never done either of them. I would love to give it a go.
If I were doing luge, I would have to have one of those neck pillows you take on an airplane.
Or like if you were a linebacker from the 90s.
The horse collar.
The horse collar rolls, yeah.
I'd have to have one of that. Well, we've got another Canadian zipping down the track.
Ember Lee Susko.
Right now, yeah. So little nudge on the wall there again. That's crazy. You know what I'd like to do, Duke, too, is I see, and not just in this, there's been a drone at the end. Wouldn't it be cool to, have you ever operated a drone?
Yep.
My
dad bought one at a farm show a number of years ago, and I used it just recreationally to take it out, take some nice aerial pictures of the farm, stuff like that.
So, I mean, I think we've seen them the most at the snowboarding and
out on the mountain event.
Yeah. And probably a lot of the skiing events we've seen them.
For sure.
Yeah. But not so much in luge, but I have seen the drone at the very end here.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. That would be a tough job, man.
Well, I think a lot of them now are honestly, Kevin, automatic.
They're robotic. Oh, are they?
Like you basically when it's starting, you kind of get it through the camera to like lock on an object.
Yeah.
And now I might say that a little uneducated because when they first started to come out with the more advanced ones, you would have like a remote or a fob and it would follow that. So let's just say you were out on your boat and you wanted the drone to follow along behind you and take pictures and stuff. You just had the fob with you and the drone would follow you. You can't be putting fobs, or maybe you can, I guess, on these racers because they're already so focused on it being as light as possible. You don't want any sort of impediment, but I don't know.
Yeah. Time now for Are You In or Out?
Okay, you know what? Moving too fast. Bottom line, are you in or you out?
In or out of what?
No time for questions, just action. In or out?
Well, then I'm out.
I'm sorry, Jet. Actually, you're already in.
Are you in or are you out?
On Sports 1440.
I thought you would go, I'm in, Bob. We would have had a really cool moment, but you kind of ruined the whole thing.
All right, Duke, let her buck.
Olympics continuing from Italy. Canada picked up a silver medal in short track team medley speed skating earlier this morning, and a couple individuals with strong performances in their heats as well as they continue to advance through. Speed skating, particularly the short track, of course, its popularity is due just as much the chances of getting to see a crash, see a wreck, as it is the actual athletic endeavor itself.
Probably in on this one, Duke. We talked about it earlier about, just basically being roller derby on blades. And I that's what people, they enjoy seeing that. And as long as nobody gets hurt.
Right.
And especially, the blades, everything's so sharp and things like that. And, they have the great padding along the walls. And, what's the good part of all speed skaters on short track, it seems, they're trained to fall well.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like, and you could say that about skiers too. It looks like, if they do have a tumble, they just seem not to put themselves in more danger than what they are already. If you want to kind of get my drift there, but I'm going to go in. Yeah. I'm looking for a little bit of some elbows to elbows. And if someone takes a spill, I'm okay with it as long as everybody's okay.
I kind of honestly, Kevin, compare it to NASCAR.
Okay.
Like you love watching it as is, but then the chance, the part of what makes it exciting is the opportunity or the possibility of a crash and a wreck, and the way they pile into the foam padding along the edge. Of course, the NASCAR cars hitting the wall, potentially spinning out. As you said, nobody's rooting for an injury. You want to see every athlete to do their very best, but like any of these sports where you actually have the participants on the field of play against other athletes, I've said several times, ski cross and snow cross are some of my favorites for that reason. Same can be said for speed skating, right? Like you're actually out there. You're not just against the clock. You're also against real people, which I think does provide an extra element of drama and excitement to it. Premier feature of today's schedule is, of course, Canada taking on the USA in women's hockey. What likely is to serve as a precursor, a preview of the gold medal game in this same event. The Americans are on a run recently of domination over the Canadians in head-to-head play. For that reason, I think that even though they're probably going to play again, a win for Canada today does actually matter.
Well, it gives them some confidence, I would think. You know what? I think it's more, I'm going to go out. I'm going to go out just because when you go into this Olympic tournament, Duke, I think you're preparing everything in stages, but your end goal is that gold medal game. So as long as you are totally prepared and the process has taken you there, no matter if you win or lose today, the process of improving and making sure your team is playing at the highest of levels and the best possible levels going into the gold medal game. That's the more important thing for me. So to your phrasing, I'll just say out because I'm going to say the biggest thing that matters is the last game.
Well, of course it is, right? But to your point, and you've talked about it with several individuals already, we're going to have Ian Kennedy here at the top of the hour to kind of really dive into this matchup. There has to be some sort of mental hurdle here, I think, for the Canadian team. The way that the Americans have run roughshod over them in the rivalry series, going back to the World Championships where they beat them in the gold medal game. I just think that to win the gold medal game, you need to clear that hurdle beforehand. And this is your opportunity to do that. It's always going to be difficult without your captain, which we're going to touch on here a little bit in the next question. And it's almost like people might say, okay, well, just don't get blown out. Like if you play good or play well and a game is close, I think that's okay. But then is that not also actually just add to that mental hurdle that could exist? Because if you're getting blown out, you say, oh, well, we played poorly and this and that. But if you lose close, it's kind of almost like, man, we just can't beat these gals. We can't. Like it's a block in our way to success.
I don't think the team ever has that mentality because of their dominance at the Olympics, and it's been such a great rivalry. So I don't think there's a mental block there.
All right.
You can't beat them.
We will see.
I'm not saying they will beat them, but I don't think there's.
You don't think if that's not necessarily a factor in it. Very fair. They will try and do so without Captain Marie-Philippe Poulain, who is not going to play today, listed as day today after she was injured after taking a check yesterday against the Czechs. A game the Canadians, of course, went on to win pretty handily. The player who needs to step up the most in MPP's absence. I'm going to go with the team's youngest player. Has goals so far in both games for Team Canada. I'm taking Julia Gosling.
I don't know too much about Julia Gosling. I'll be honest with you. I know more about Sarah Fillier. So I can't say that I'm going to disagree or go out with your in or out point, Duke, because I just don't know too much about her. But I'm going to say that Sarah Fillier is one person.
Also scored yesterday.
Also scored. Was that earlier game. She scored off the end boards, right?
Was that the Swiss game?
I think
I'll be there. Listen, Canada's already scored 9 goals in a couple games.
Yeah.
They kind of do blend together.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with Fillier, and I mean the pedigree's there, being a number 1 overall draft pick. They're almost the same age, I think, right?
Yeah, Gosling just
one year
a couple
difference.
months apart. Yeah, like Gosling's a February of 2001. Fillier, I'm just seeing
2000.
here, is 2000, but summer, so June of 2000.
So very close in age.
Yeah. And the
I
same
think-
can be said for the other youngest player, Jen Gardner, who's a 2001 born player as well.
I'll tell you what, Duke, you can go with both, and you could throw Gardner in there as well, you know.
The reason I'm going to opt for Gosling is, and maybe this is a little meat-headed to me, but like the physical element. She's 5'10". She's, right up there for the biggest, tallest player on the team with the likes of Natalie Spooner, who we've seen be dominant in her prime, right? And the fact that she does hold a size advantage over a lot of her peers plays a role. And Gosling, she's really burst on the scene, having some success with Seattle here. In what I'm pretty sure is her first PWHL season as an 01 born player. So I'm just really looking forward, and I've liked what I've seen from Gosling through the first couple games, even if they were a little bit of a lower grade type of opponent. So should make for a great matchup. That getting underway just after 12 o'clock noon for us here in the Mountain Time Zone. Anticipation for the men's tournament continues. Canada's opener, of course, on Thursday morning against Czechia. Closed practice yesterday. We'll see how practices continue to unfold over the next couple of days. But if you had to pick your starting goalie for game number 1, Kevin Karius, right now, I'm sorry. I think it should be Logan Thompson.
I'm going to be in on this one. I have zero confidence in Binnington right now.
Yeah.
Like he's not even the best Canadian goalie on his own team.
Give me all the numbers about how he plays when the games matter the most. And yes, he played his best in the gold medal match last year against the Americans. But and a friend of mine, he's texted this in. He's talked about it a lot in our own individual group chats. Like, Binnington was playing bad last year before going into the Four Nations. The numbers show that he was not playing as badly as he is this year.
He's
and
played bad
not
for a
even
year
close.
here, Duke.
And like you said, Kevin, he's essentially lost the undisputed starting job at his own NHL team. Some rumors swirling about a potential trade between the Wild and St. Louis. If there's a Robert Thomas for Jesper Wallstedt potential deal, could that result in Binnington getting flipped elsewhere? There's a lot up in the air. But all that aside, Logan Thompson's been the best Canadian goalie for essentially the last 2 NHL seasons. He deserves the opportunity. This isn't a throwaway game. You want your best guy out there. He's your best guy.
Yeah, I'm going to be in. And I just have zero confidence in the old bins right now.
And to be honest, Kevin, if I had a second choice, I'd be throwing Darcy Kemper in there.
Yeah.
Binnington's my third goalie right now, just based off of how he's played this year coming into the tournament. This day in 1940, when Kevin was in the middle of his third pass at the 3rd grade, the first cartoon with the iconic duo of Tom and Jerry created the infamous cat and mouse trope. Iconic, great, funny, timeless. However, the best animated duo is Sylvester the cat and the Tweety Bird.
I don't know. No, I'm out, Duke. I'm out 100% on this.
Oh, come on.
Without question. And I enjoy Sylvester and the Tweety Bird. There's nothing wrong. But by the best,
I know what you're going to say.
It's the Coyote and the Roadrunner.
Right.
Dude.
So that is the first one that came to my mind.
Yeah.
The very first.
It's hands down.
The reason I'll elect for these, we're talking about three sets here. If you talk Tom and Jerry, Sylvester and Tweety, and Coyote and Roadrunner. They're all the similar dynamic, right?
Mhm.
Predator and prey. Roadrunner doesn't talk. And that does take some of it away from me, where you don't get some of the quips and the retorts and the little fun little jabs.
All you need is beep beep.
Tweety Bird's got
Dude.
some great lines, and Sylvester with the I guess a speech impediment. He's spitting all over the time when he's talking. That's extra funny too. I do love Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner, and the beep beep is great when timed perfectly. But I do actually like a little quip and jab in the back and forth too.
You know what? You don't need sound with the Coyote and the Roadrunner.
Just Acme.
Yeah. And, the painting of the tunnel.
So funny.
Going over the cliff. And then he took those pills to make his legs bigger,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there was just so many Coyote Roadrunner. The other one I was thinking, and I can't name the names of the characters, but it's the dog with
the sheep? Like the sheepdog.
Yeah.
And
what's the other? Because he kept pounding him over the head with a hammer.
Yeah, isn't the sheepdog named Sam? I just can't remember who the antagonist is.
I can't either.
After I came up with this, I took a quick little Google search just to see if there's any obvious ones I was missing. And this was on here. Ralph Wolf.
Ralph, yeah.
Ralph Wolf and Sam Sheepdog.
Yeah, I mean, those two those guys cracked me up.
Those are pretty good too. Those are pretty good too.
Those guys cracked because, he was always looked like he wasn't watching, but he always was watching.
Yeah.
And then the other one was, I was thinking this was Yosemite Sam. And would that be Bugs Bunny?
Well, I think for Bugs Bunny, you could take any number of counterparts because Elmer Fudd is great. But on this list in particular, the actual number one tandem duo is Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. So it's not quite the same dynamic of hunter, predator, prey. It's more just their general antics.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they were both in the mix with Elmer Fudd or Yosemite Sam.
Well,
here's a good. What about Foghorn, Cleghorn, and the Chicken Hawk? I can't remember his name.
Yeah, Foghorn, Leghorn. That's from Greater Man Jay. It's funny.
And we're just talking Looney Tunes. We haven't even really ventured outside of that sphere here. Tom and Jerry aren't Looney Tunes, but
yeah. Well, Richard says Fred and Barney.
Good one. SpongeBob and Patrick, maybe for a younger generation.
Here too, actually, Elmer Fudd and Bugs, that comes in.
Yeah, I think that's very rightfully in the conversation as well. I love Elmer Fudd. So funny.
David Whitetail, our buddy Dave says, Bugs Bunny playing cards with Blackjack Shellac and holding on one card, 21 of hearts. and I don't know. I guess it's the old timer again in me, but the old cartoons were way better.
They were great. I mean, I loved Looney Tunes, the Bugs Bunny and Tweety show. That was on whatever channel. I can't even recall. Cartoon Network, I guess, maybe. Excuse me. I loved those as a kid and watched the Flintstones, the Jetsons a little bit, I guess. I wasn't quite. I don't recall watching that as much, but the Flintstones for sure. And then the Looney Tunes.
When I was really young, Duke, so like 50 years ago, my grandma and grandpa had an old 8mm projector.
Oh,
so we're talking all the old cartoons from what you're talking about, probably from 60 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We would watch them every Christmas, and they might have been older because there was also there was some not cartoons on there, but there were it's kind of a racist thing now. You would never be able to buckwheat.
Oh yeah,
that with the kids there, and they had it on there. But these were films from probably 70 years ago. I don't even know where they are now. MTR, does Calvin and Hobbes count? Come on, MTR, wake up.
Well, that was a book. Did they turn that into a TV show? A movie, Josh says. Huh? Suppose that might count then.
Any other texts come in that?
Lots of Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one. Speedy Gonzalez, the mouse. Who is his?
Ren and Stimpy, Crimson Corey texts in.
Pinky and the Brain.
Who's that?
So that it was on this list, and I recognize it. I never watched it, but it's like a rat, I think, and a guy with a big head, hence the brain. Just trying to see if I can find a picture of it here. Oh, another Toy Story reference, Buzz Lightyear and Woody.
Slater says Foghorn Leghorn during the Oiler games at Skyreach was a classic. I sort of remember those on the Jumbotron. Garfield and Odie from Richard.
Oh, that's a pretty good one. Snoopy and Woodstock.
Wow. When I don't know.
Talking about people that didn't talk.
Yeah.
Pinky and the Brain, I guess they're both rats. They're look like lab rats, and one is the smart one, one's the idiot.
We would blast home from for lunch in school in elementary as fast as we could because there were 3 cartoons before the noon news at 12 o'clock. So you would
Really?
watch, 3 cartoons, and then the noon news would come on at 12:10. This is again 50 years ago, but that's what it was like back then, Duke. 3 cartoons, and then you'd have your lunch and
just hustle back over to
good stuff.
Catch your afternoon nap.
Got to take a quick break here before top of the hour, right? Quick break. We'll get to some of your texts and then have Ian Kennedy from the Hockey News at 10 o'clock on the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne and Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Mr. Rooter gets a colonoscopy.
All right, Mr. Rooter, just relax. We're almost finished.
Now, what am I looking at on the screen?
That's your large intestine.
Wow, the pipes of the human body. Incredible. This is just like when we use a camera for sewer inspection, except you probably don't find tree roots.
You'd be surprised what we find.
You know, once I found a bunch of Hot Wheels.
Hey, me too.
For a plumber who values healthy pipes, call Mr. Rooter.
Remember 2025? That's so last year. But seriously, St. Albert Dodge needs to clear some 2025 models off the lot to make room for new inventory. So they're having a huge clear out of all the remaining new 2025 Jeep Wrangler Saharas. The Sahara package is the best seller, so they have a great selection to choose from and priced from as low as $59.9. I don't have to tell you, these are going to go fast. So get there before they are gone. Just head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Start your day with a blast of sports. Kevin Karius, along with Brandon Douglas, brings the fire, the fun, and the fearless takes. Weekdays, 7 to 11. Text Kevin, 883-401-1440. Mornings with Sports 1440.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 furnace replacement company for lovers. Because the best aphrodisiac is no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace from Legacy. So forget about the just baby. If you really want to check the heat, we can be a thermal couple, baby. Give me your sweet loving legacy. Heat things up with no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Whoa, I gotta put some money on the game tonight. We hit our monthly budget. Whoa, how did you get in here? I'm you, the responsible you. We're right. We'll play another time. Sounds more like us.
If you gamble, use your game sense. Visit GameSenseAB.ca.
Your game, your station. Sports 1440.
And watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 951 in Edmonton. I let that song breathe. MTR was mad. I didn't let, what was it, Jimi Hendrix breathe?
Little Voodoo Child.
Well, I mean, there's a little difference. And a lot of people would just assume that that's the Eagles, but that's Travis Tritt there.
Right.
You know, I listened closely.
Had to have it
I
on the
wanted to make
ready,
sure, because there's one part in the, you know, he changes, not the lyric, but just a couple quick little words in the song.
Mm-hmm.
So Travis Tritt, one of the best, all the remakes, all the artists on there. There's so many good ones on doing the Eagles there.
Yes.
Ranting Rob texts in, you're not a chicken, you're a loudmouth schnook. So that's the chicken hawk saying that to Foghorn?
I think so. If my memory serves. Listen, it's been a few years.
Look at this. I was telling you about all those old 8mm films. My Aunt Gwenny is listening back in Melville, Saskatchewan this morning. As always, thanks, Gwenny. Hope you're well. And she said, those movies are at my house. And I said, do you still have the projector too? She says, yep. Not sure how well it works. But I remember I think it was an old Uncle Brian that used to put the ice pack on the projector when we were kids to make sure that it was cool because it was always overheating, and then you'd have to stop and fire it up again.
Henry Hawk.
Henry Hawk?
Is the chicken hawk's name.
Henry Hawk.
Henry. And not Henry, Henry. Henery. Henry Hawk. And yes, he after mistaking him, the rooster, for a chicken, responds by proving he is a chicken, not a loudmouth schnook.
This is even going way back, Duke. Northside Lou says, I know you guys would never remember this, but this was an old thing that happened, again, 50 years ago. For short animation, nothing beat the wiener hopping into the bun on the drive-in screen. So you guys, have you ever seen a movie at a drive-in theater?
No, I don't think I have, actually.
If those came back, I think...
Well, they did.
Well, is there one around town?
No, they came back during the pandemic, and then they all disappeared again.
Did they? I never knew that. So where was the closest drive-in around town then?
I don't know. I wasn't living here then.
Well, okay. Was there one in Delburne? No.
I think they held like movie nights, and you could pull up, put a projector up on the side of the arena or in the park or something.
Well, that's not a drive-in theater, Duke.
Why not?
No. So they used to have things called dusk to dawn. So you would get probably 4 movies in, Duke. So you'd pull in there like 9:30 or so, and you'd run 4 movies and you used to try to sneak guys in the trunk of the car.
Because what, you had to pay per head?
Yeah, paid per head.
Not just per car?
Nope, you paid per head. Well, because guys, if you paid per car, Duke, and it's not that they didn't have those nights, but you jam 10, 15 people in a car. So you paid per head. Richard says there was a drive-in movie theater on Gasoline Alley back in the day. In Red Deer, I guess?
Yeah, that's where Gasoline Alley is. Speck made a pit stop in there when he went down to the Flames game last week.
Did he?
It stopped at the Donut Mill. Of course, obligatory.
Why wouldn't he? I bet Speck's been to a lot of drive-in. And here's the thing, if you ever got, usually you'd take 6, 8 people in a car, Duke.
Okay.
But if you ever ended up like
But what if you were out with your sweetheart? Is that get a little crowded or what?
No, now you're kicking everyone out.
Where do they watch the movie
There used to be swings. You could go up front and just there'd be like a sandbox and you could just watch in the sand. Or there was a swing set because you'd send your kids out to play out there in the front. Maxwell, Smart, and Jaime, that came in from Kevin as far as Duke's question for in or out as being the iconic duo of Tom and Jerry. But said,
Max Get Smart was not animated.
Well,
did it have an animated?
Yes, it was animated. Okay. Yeah. But I remember the old ones with Don Adams, and Jaime was the robot.
Yeah. And there's an allusion to that at the end of the movie where they make a robot agent to prank and some of the mean guys.
Husk says the last drive-in that he went to was just off the White Mud. Great times and a great place, as you say, Duke, to take a date. Maybe Laddie will be talking about this on Thursday. Is he back on Thursday, by the way?
I thought he said he's only gone a week.
Yeah.
We can confirm that, though.
When we come back, Ian Kennedy from the Hockey News will talk about this game, Canada-U.S. women's hockey. We'll talk about the Canadian men going up against the Czechs on Thursday. Maybe look around the NHL a little bit. That's all straight ahead at the top of the hour. Also, the con man, Connor Halley from Fantasy Frenzy and the Jason Greger Show. Before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fusion Promo Marketing. Expand your brand, high-quality promotional products for your businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Get noticed at fusionpromomarketing.ca. Here is the Duke.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
This morning from the Olympics in Italy, Canada picking up another medal, winning silver in the mixed team short track speed skating. The Canadians, in action. Women's team combined downhill. The pair of Grenier and St. Germain finished 13th in slalom, 19th in the Alpine, while the Grey Nomeyer team finished 22nd in Alpine, Julian Vale and Michael Kingsbury finished second and third in their heat in the men's moguls qualifier. In men's 1,000-meter speed skating, William Dangenou and Felix Roussel both finishing first in their heats, while Stephen Dubois finished third to miss qualification. While in the women's 500-meter, Courtney Soreau and Kim Boutin both finished first in their heats, Florence Brunel placing second, all three advancing through. Currently in action, Trinity Ellis and Ambert Lee Susko just finishing up their third run in the women's loose, fourth run to come. And men's singles figure skating short program will feature Stegan Gogolev and our women's hockey team taking on the United States just after noon, but will not have captain Marie-Philippe Poulain after she got injured yesterday in the win over the Czechs. Just 4 games on the hardwood tonight. Pacers head to MSG to play the Knicks. Houston hosting the Clippers. Suns take on the Mavericks, and the Spurs play the Lakers from SoCal in the nightcap. Coming up in hour 4 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by Ian Kennedy from the Hockey News, as well as Connor Halley from Fantasy Frenzy. I'm Brandon Douglas. That's your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Free trips, free iPads, a barbecue, a wood stove, the #1 dealer in the world. What? Who cares? How about no pressure, a great deal, finance rates as low as 0%, trade values you can be happy with, and an indoor showroom. And we're pretty good people. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the 2 best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Looking for auto parts without the dealership price tag? You'll save big here at Ed's Auto Salvage in Westlaw. From engines and alternators to doors and glass, we carry quality tested used parts at unbeatable prices. Why spend thousands when you can spend hundreds? Keep your car and your budget running strong with Ed's Auto Salvage. I'm Lisa, inviting you to stop in soon or visit us online. We offer province-wide shipping and daily delivery to Edmonton. edsautosalvage.com.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
Big program, 10:01 in Edmonton, just awaiting the arrival of Ian Kennedy from the Hockey News. The Edmonton Elks have announced a media conference for tomorrow at 11 o'clock in the locker room. General Manager Ed Hervey will be there. Head coach Mark Killam will be there. And then members of the 2026 free agent class that the Elks have signed. So those players, or some of the players, will be there tomorrow. And kind of a get to know, with the members of the media, and you'll get to meet some of the players and things like that. So that'll be tomorrow at 11 o'clock. I guess I'll try to get there. Hopefully I can get there by 11:30 and discuss a few things with Ed Hervey and Mark Killam and some of the members of the free agent class. Should mention too, I mean, there's quite a big thing coming up with the coach of the year. And, they're trying to do something different. You know how other sports make the announcements as far as winners go before, say, the Super Bowl, we had the big night and, Matt Stafford gets announced as the MVP. But there's a coach of the year banquet coming up here in Edmonton. It'll be next month on March 25th at the Westin. And it's basically just straight ahead of the CFL Combine that's going to be held here from March 27th to the 29th as well. But it'll be the CFL Coach of the Year, the Hugh Campbell Distinguished Leadership Award that will be announced, and then a new honor, the Ted Govia Football Operations. Ted Govia just passed away recently, a longtime coach in the league. But this is also a fundraiser for football in Alberta. So it runs on the 25th for the dinner, and it's actually hosted by our buddy Chris Sheets. So congratulations to Sheets Eat Football Alberta, and the Edmonton Elks are also going to honor several coaches from across the province. So, that's going to be a big thing. And again, grassroots football, that's any sport, grassroots, that's where you have to be able to, build. And that's how you draw the attention, and that's how you draw excitement at grassroots. And then you want that to continue. And to be honest, we've missed some generations here. And maybe you don't want to say it's a generation, but we've missed. What does everyone say? Well, my kid doesn't care about the CFL. My kid doesn't care about, he's on the NFL. He's on this. He's on that. Doesn't know anything about the CFL. Well, they're trying. They're trying to get things going. They're trying to get it back to where it was, where you wanted to go to a CFL game, or you wanted to go to an Elks game. But again, the Coach of the Year would be announced on the 25th. Selected by voting members of the Football Reporters of Canada. And it is between Corey Mace of the Saskatchewan Roughriders and Jason Moss of the Montreal Alouettes. 53 votes will be counted. Mace led, obviously, the Riders to a 12-6 record, won the 9th West Division title in franchise history. And then we all know what happened in the Grey Cup, and Moss led the Owls to their 4th consecutive postseason appearance with a 10-8 mark. So that's going to be exciting to see that weekend. And again, it's about building. They're trying to keep building, and it's when you got again that generation of fans that was missed, and everyone just thought it would roll over and turn over and roll over. It didn't happen. And that's why when you look at it, there's been attendance falling. And you can say that the attendance is level or whatever it is. Numbers get skewed. You add on a 55,000 banger in BC for the home opener when they've got a big rock concert going on. That's 3 games, and added 3 games in BC. So the attendance has been dwindling here in Edmonton, and we haven't been able to get it back on track. But this is just one of those things. How are we making out with Ian Kennedy, Duke? Obviously not very well. TBD. Oh, well. We would be talking about the Canada-USA game. Obviously, there is no Marie-Philippe Poulin, the captain, injured yesterday against the Czechs in a 5-1 win. Day-to-day, listed as day-to-day with a lower body injury. When you look at the Canadian men's Group A pool, and again, this is a pool that has Czechia, it has Switzerland, and it has France. Okay, everyone knows that France isn't going to be able to compete at this level. It's not even going to be close. They've got, the best, the most well-known player would be Pierre-Edouard Bellemare. That would be the most well-known player. Montreal forward Alexander Texier is actually on the team, the only current NHL player on the roster. So other than that, you wouldn't recognize too many players on France. The other two teams, in the pool besides Canada, interesting. Switzerland comes in here, never won a gold medal. Won a bronze back in 1948. They'll open the tournament up against France, then play Canada and the Czechs. But they do have some pretty good players on the team. They've got 10 NHL regulars. Their most notable player would probably be Roman Josi, Nashville Predators captain. They've also got another captain, Nico Hischier from New Jersey. Their goaltending, they don't have the goaltending that other countries have. The Karius Schmid will be their starter, Vegas Golden Knights goaltender. But they've got some other players on the team, like, a Timo Meier. Jonas Sigenthaler is also on the team. Again, depth, it's not coming into play here. They've got some stars. I would expect that they will finish third in the pool, just ahead of France.
While you were away, Kevin, we had our buddy Stephen Ellis on, who's been part of the previews, like team-by-team previews that they were doing at Daily Face-Off leading up to the Olympics. And Stephen did the one for Switzerland.
Yeah.
And you say that to you, Akira Schmid, as the NHL guy, is the obvious number one.
Yeah.
But Stephen actually thinks that this Leonardo Giannoni, he was the goalie for the team at the World Championships last year. He's 38 years old, still plays for Zug in the Swiss League. League title 7 times, Spengler Cup twice, and 3 silver medals at World Championships.
So he'd be ahead of Schmid.
In Steven's mind, yes. In fact, this past World Championship, 953 save percentage, 4 shutouts back in May. So he, listen, this is a savvy vet of international hockey, and Steven, a lot of people are talking Czechs. You just had it with Frank in the 8 o'clock hour as the kind of, outside of the big four. Steven thinks the Swiss might be a team to potentially make some noise, and he actually projects them to finish second in the pool ahead of Czech.
I couldn't disagree more with Stephen Ellis here. Not even remotely close here. Sorry, pal.
I think the Swiss or the Czechs have more high-end talent when you talk a guy like Pasternak.
This isn't even close, Duke.
Well, that's why they play the games, Kev. I'm just letting you know what was said while you were sipping margaritas.
I mean, and Steven, he has his opinion too. That's fine, and he does lots of scouting, lots of. I'll tell you what, I would be shocked, stunned, if the Czechs don't finish ahead of the Swiss.
I agree with you. I think the Czechs are second place, but like you said, Steven watches a ton of these players that we don't watch. And in the case, he just thinks like it's essentially going to all hinge on Giannoni. And if he can play like he did the World Championships, the Swiss team could be a wild card.
Yeah, I just don't see it. Don't see it at all. The Czechs, again, and we discussed it with Frank. Frank thinks the Czechs are in for a medal here.
I'm right there with him. I do.
I don't know if they can get to that stage for me, but they are second in this pool. And again, this game here on Thursday is going to be a lot tougher than Canadian fans think. And would you say, okay, you're the big Ducks guy? Are you saying that Lucas Dostal is number one here in goal? Because Dan Vladar's been really good, Duke.
He has.
Melka's been really good. And I think that these 3 goalies are just as good as what the Americans are icing right now.
I would still give the edge to the USA and their trio of guys just on ceiling. But if you talk about recent play, I think it's very fair what you're talking about.
Ottinger stats are the same as Stu Skinner's. They're identical. They're mirror images. Dostal, he can say that he's been up and down, but I mean,
but it's also a very soft defensive team in Anaheim, and we watched how they played here in Edmonton, right? Going back to a few weeks ago, and that was even Ville Husso in that. So take it for what it's worth. But no, I'm a big believer in Dostal and the way he kind of props up that Anaheim team at times, because he is very good in high danger chances. And you have to think with this Czech team, yes, they have top end talent, but like most of these non-American and Canadian, Sweden, even the Finns, you can say the same thing. They get a little thin at the bottom, right? So there's times where you're going to get caved in. You need your goalie to stand up for you. And I get it. I'm biased. I think Dostal is the guy to do that for the Czechs.
Well, you know who has the most wins in the NHL right now?
Who?
Vejmelka.
Hey.
Karel Vejmelka he's tied for the most wins with 27. His goals against is 258, 903 save percentage. And Dan Vladar has been dynamite, JJ.
Well, you talk about propping a team up. Without him, the Flyers are.
That's why
I think right there with the likes of the Canucks and the Rangers.
Honestly, like the way Hellebuck's been playing this year, the way Ottinger is, and then to be honest with you, Swayman might be the best American goalie right now.
Yeah, but Hellebuck's going to be the guy.
He sure he is. He's going to absolutely is. But I'm just talking about play this year, and that's why these three goalies, in my mind, are just as good as what the Americans are rolling out.
But talking about play this year, we know that that's not all that takes taken into consideration, especially for Canada. Look at the players they selected.
That's why I don't have Canada winning the gold medal, Duke.
You think they should have been purely on the hottest hands?
Wow. Well, I mean, that's why we even agree in or out that Thompson should be starting.
Yeah. I think you need to take a balance of those two factors of players that are at the top of their game when the team is selected. Now going into the tournament for your line combinations, it's who you're going to give the most ice time to. And it's not a long tournament. You play these a couple group play games to try and flesh things out and what your lineup's looking like, who should play with who's going to start here, there, special teams, whatever. And then come the elimination stage, you have that in line.
Yeah. With the Czechs, I mean, they lost Pavel Zacha. He's not in the lineup, lost him to an injury before. A guy that I don't know much about, Philip Chaplik, is going to be his replacement. So for Canada in the pool, again, it's gold or bust. And you can say that this first game against the Czechs is going to be their toughest in the pool. I would say that that's going to reign true. The changes between Point and Sorelli not being able to play, Bennett coming in and Jarvis. I think you don't lose a whole lot with, Bennett coming in, say for a Sorelli, that's how it would have been, but Point's going to be a loss for Canada because, I mean, there was that connection that, there's a little bit of chemistry that Point had with Connor McDavid. The power play, first unit power play it's going to be nutso to see the talent out there, led by McDavid and McKinnon and Makar and Crosby. And then you throw in Reinhart on that first unit power play. It's going to be extremely dangerous. But again, goaltending to me and quickness on the back end. Quickness on the back end as far as getting back to pucks, being able to get pucks out. I'm a little concerned where, you have Parayko, a little concerned on Harley and Doughty and Sanheim. So, and you said it even too, Duke. You weren't that impressed with how Taves has been playing this year. And he's probably only on the team because as a shoo-in because he's partnered with Makar.
I think that certainly helps his case, but I've also been a long proponent of the fact that if Devon Taves played for any other NHL team or nearly any other team, he'd be the team's number one guy. He is very good. This isn't a charity addition to the roster. Don't be mistaken. But he just gets overshadowed because his partner is the best defenseman in the world.
Bad is all over me. KK, your non-Canadian pride is showing right now big time. Stop talking about men's hockey if you don't have Canada winning.
So what, you just want us to bootlick the Canadian team and say that it's going to be a runaway?
KK has the worst takes. LOL, it's funny from Cam. So this is just because I'm not saying Canada's winning the gold?
I guess.
Max says it's Binners. Binsy's net to lose.
Honestly, probably true. But I just don't agree.
Yeah. Oddball says, and I kind of forgot about this, former Oiler, Johan Avitu, is on the French team, dude.
Yeah.
Long time.
Oilers legend.
Legend, yeah. Long. Do you know what number he wore?
No.
Yeah, neither do I. Well, we'll have to rebook Ian Kennedy for another time.
Yeah, hopefully catch up with him. Something got a little lost in translation.
Why don't we get him after tomorrow? And then, you know what? Maybe with everything that's happening with Marie-Philippe Poulin and stuff, they might have a news conference. They might have an availability, something like that. You never know. Pick says, why are you worried about Harley retrieving pucks? He's quick. I'm just worried about Harley as a whole because he's been off this year, Picks, I believe. Would you say that he was a shoo-in as one of the defensemen? I don't think a lot of people had him on. I think he's on the team because of what he did at Four Nations last year. And he was
coming out of last year's the Four Nations, and then after the playoffs, I think he had ascended to being close to a lock to the team. But then with the way he played for the first few months of this season, like he did nothing but play himself down the pecking order.
Yeah.
But clearly, as we've talked about with Frank innumerable times at this point, like the brass went with familiarity. And the players that they know, they've already seen at this level, stage, combinations, whatever. That's the route they went, and that has been evident in the replacement players they named and in the original roster.
When we come back, the con man, Connor Halley from Fantasy Frenzy and the Jason Greger Show. We'll check in on the Kevin Carey Show with the Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM Radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
McValue breakfast meals are $5 plus tax every day. Get a sausage McMuffin, bagel with cream cheese product, or breakfast burrito with hash brown and small coffee, all for just $5. Plus taxes. Available until 11 a.m. at Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
Invest for today and tomorrow. Vision Credit Union makes it simple with 2 RRSP options to fit your goals. Choose a secure term deposit RRSP with guaranteed returns or a mutual fund RRSP offering higher growth potential with exciting opportunities. With an RRSP, you'll save on your income tax, grow your investments tax-free, and get closer to your dreams. Whether it's retirement or your first home, the deadline to qualify for 2025 tax deductions is March 2nd. Learn more at visioncu.ca.
You started wearing it to guys' night. Nice toque, you hoser. Then you started wearing it to work.
Nice toque, you hipster.
But the truth is, you're not a hoser or a hipster. You're just trying to hide your hair loss. I'm Dr. Vance Elliott, and for over 2 decades, I've used the latest techniques to help thousands save their hair, including my own. Come see me today to explore your options. By the time it warms up enough to take off the toque, you could have a head of hair you won't want to hide. Go to drvanceelliott.com today.
River Cree is the place for all your favorite sports. River Cree Resort and Casino, featuring UFC action and boxing live on the big screens at Tap 25, the MVP of sports bars, and in the center bar. Plus, catch all the biggest games, every goal, every slam dunk. River Cree is also home to the Twin Rinks, where rec hockey and community teams come to play. Public skating available. Details at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Winter in Alberta doesn't mess around.
And neither does Titan Supply.
For over 50 years, we've earned the trust of our customers across a variety of industries.
Because we lead with integrity,
honesty,
and respect.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Brent from Titan Supply. When the weather hits hard,
we're fully stocked with rigging, lifting, and hauling gear that works as hard as you do.
Titan Supply.
Built on trust, driven by safety.
Serving Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary.
Let us help you face the weather the Titan way.
Visit titansupply.ca.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 1021 in Edmonton. Time now for the Potpourri Report, because we're going to talk everything here with the con man, Connor Halley, brought to you by Fountain Tire. And again, at Fountain Tire, when we say that we are on this road together, we mean it. From tires, wheels, oil changes to vehicle repairs, visit fountaintire.com to find out more. As we welcome in the con man, Connor Halley from Fantasy Frenzy and the Jason Greger Show. Good morning, con man.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Great. We're watching the men's 20-kilometer individual biathlon right now.
Yeah.
Duke's second favorite Olympic sport. We were talking about this because he enjoys the rifle action.
Of course. Yeah. How can you
But
not?
Duke, in our 7 o'clock hour, con man, he wants to take it up a notch. He wants to see like pistols involved with, say, downhill skiers.
Oh, really?
So while they're skiing, he wants them to have the ability to peg off a few targets while they're skiing at 130 kilometers an hour.
I'm with them, like James Bond.
That's right.
But why stop there?
Well,
why don't the speed skaters huck grenades at targets?
Okay, well, so we right on. So we started with, well, what other events should be in the Duke Olympics? And we had quite a few people coming in with various things like the frozen cow patty discus.
Yeah.
And these events would be, or the Duke Olympics would be held in Delburne.
The one ACL relay? You can only have one ACL to participate?
There was cow tipping. We had fix and fence after you slide off the end of the road. Ranger Dad said the 500-meter dash to start the diesel engine in the morning.
It's a good one. I like that.
There was warm wildcat beer shotgunning. And then we were talking about where this would be broadcast, in Delburne. James texted in on TSN 8, the Ocho.
Yeah.
We
could sign him up for it. Maybe.
I think that this would be, I think you'd get a lot of fans for this.
I think just based on like the lore around cow tipping, people would be like, can you do it? And tune into that event.
And the answer is no, you can't. So
like it would break their legs, right?
No,
they're
it's just,
sleeping.
you would never knock them over.
Well, what if we used technology?
What are you talking about?
Like people think cow tipping is you walk up to a cow standing in the pasture and like
Yeah, they got to be
over
sleeping, Duke.
and laying down.
No, sleeping on their feet like horses.
Cows don't really do that. Horses do.
Could you tip a horse?
Do you know how
would
low the
his
center
legs
of
break?
gravity is on a full-grown beef?
This is
You
awesome.
would never, ever knock it over.
What about a heifer?
Like what? Are we talking like a freshly like
I don't
baby
know.
calf? Yeah, tip those all you want. You grab 'em by the flank and you're rodeoing basically.
What if you had like a bobcat and just pushed it?
Yeah, we're
Would that
talking
tip-
about a machine.
Well, that's what I'm like. Could it physically be done? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would be difficult though, like just because they have 4 legs and their center of gravity to just try and from a single point of contact straight up just knock them clean over onto their side. It would be difficult. And if you were doing it with a machine, you would have to hit them pretty hard even.
Coach
And
Al
it
said
would be pretty
piglet
ugly.
chasing Duke.
That's tough. They're squirmy little buggers.
Really? That's why they call them like greased pigs.
Yeah,
right?
like chasing.
Have you ever tried it?
Greased pig? Like chasing piglets around. Like my uncle had some pigs growing up, but my friend Bryce, with several of my friends actually, they actually had pig farms, and so be over there as a kid, you go and help with chores and stuff, and chase them around in the pen, try and catch them.
Wow. So would you be a participant in this?
No.
Con man?
I think I'd like to get into my one day I'd love to work broadcast in the Olympics. So this could be my step in, like my first foot in the door.
know.
Yeah. I went to the zoo on Sunday morning and those pigs were not moving too quick. I could catch one of those
Really?
pigs. Oh yeah.
So you'd like to broadcast at the Olympics?
Wow. I
Who
mean, I
wouldn't?
would love to. If they hey, I wouldn't be good at it, but if they said, hey, Connor, we need we're trying something different. We're gonna bring mediocre broadcasters. You're gonna go out there. I'd say, yeah, let's do it. Maybe I could just do the online social media.
Have you been to an Olympic Games?
Never. No.
Never, yeah.
No.
I was in Calgary in '88.
Working or
No, just I was still actually playing hockey.
Oh.
Uh,
See, why didn't I go to
Baltimore.
Whistler? My sister lived there.
Well, that's the whole thing.
I probably could have slept on the floor, but I just was like, well, I'll just watch from home and work instead.
But again, to cover them, and I mean, I get jealous. We've had, Frank's going to Italy tomorrow. Just the amount of reporters that we've talked to, and right off the hop this morning, we had Lucas Weiss from the Athletic on. He's there, and you kind of go, you're jealous of him. Speck's been to many, and you see Rashog's there now again, and
just to be in the atmosphere, like Athletes Village, and just walk around,
and you know what? I'll be honest. I think as a reporter or a slash, I can't say I could say this for a cameraman that's on the beat. So Dave Parker, I think, went with with Rashog.
Yeah.
Because of the proximity of the events and the locales, it's not like these guys, okay, you're going here and you're doing this, and that's your job for today. Like what Rashog has been doing over there, minimal work. Like, I mean, minimal. Well, I'm not kidding you guys.
I mean, he couldn't watch the practice, right?
Yeah,
the first one.
Yeah, so
Closed
the
door.
second one, closed door practice.
Your second, yeah.
So you're waiting. All it is you're sitting around and waiting and waiting and waiting, and then you might have to do an interview, but it's not like you are really, really intense working.
Doing a couple hits.
Yeah, like
crushing some pasta.
It's easy work.
Yeah.
Like when you are a reporter and doing multiple events, now we're talking because you are zipping from event to event and locale to locale.
Be tough there.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, maybe I'm the only one that's complaining about this, but it's been a little frustrating sitting down at like 8:00 and you go to three major networks and they're all showing the same thing. Like we have 3 major networks with like 1,000 channels. Can we get it's replays? I understand, but can we just get the replays of the events just to watch them? Like I through the 3 different networks and it was just 2 people on a sofa talking. And I thought, this is not what the games are for.
It's poorly done. And the amount of boots they got on the ground there with these networks.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
Like even we were talking about NBC yesterday. NBC with the Super Bowl, with the Olympics, and then with the NBA All-Star game. They got that this weekend.
Yeah.
Like 4,000 employees on the ground.
Tirico's going from the Super Bowl to the
he was flying all night, right?
Yeah.
So the amount that goes into it, like it's the people that work hard are all the people behind the scene.
Yeah.
The reporters are doing less and less. And I mean, and I'm talking about the guys like Rashog and all these guys because they're just covering hockey.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to worry about anything else. When you're doing multiple stuff or you are one of the main broadcast teams, now we're talking a little harder stuff.
Yeah. And I guess with hockey, I mean, it's just hockey.
Yeah.
If you're on the slopes, ton of events to cover it all day.
And you know what? Here's another thing. Like, Conman, when you go cover the Masters, you don't go cover the Masters. You go into the broadcast center and you're watching it on TV like everyone else.
Yeah.
You're not on the course following these guys around. It just doesn't work that
Unless
way.
you're a rights holder or
No, those would be the guys those would be the on-course reporters.
Yeah.
But if you say the Masters would have, I don't know, 1,000 reporters come in from all over the world. Those reporters sit in the broadcast center and they have their computers just like we're set up here. And then they have the TV, massive TV, and they're listening to the broadcast just like everyone else. So, hey, what did you think? The Super Bowl was a bit of a dud.
I loved it.
Did you?
2 straight years I've loved the outcome.
Why?
Because
Well,
the
the
outcome was good.
But the game sucked.
Yeah, I mean, the first half was terrible. I think that I can appreciate the Seahawks defense and what they were able to do. Like, I thought that part of the game was really impressive. And McDonald, with just the people he's brought in, Duke and I talked about it on Fantasy Frenzy. Like, you scroll through that defense and it's draft, early. And then you had late round picks hitting. They've got trades that they've made. They've got free agents. Like, they just built up a really good defense over the last few years. And obviously have hit on their top end picks, like getting Witherspoon and then Jackson Smith-Njigba in the same first round. Pretty outstanding. But overall, yeah, I mean, it wasn't the most exciting game. It was done. It kind of, I think, proved what we all thought with the New England Patriots, that a good team, but not a great team, not a Super Bowl contender at this point. There were benefits to their schedule all season long and then into the playoffs. I mean, we talked about it. You got playoff Herbert, you got second round Stroud, and you got Bo Nix's backup. Like, it was not the most ridiculous way to get into the Super Bowl. Some might say one of the easiest paths ever. And they just couldn't move the ball until it was too late. And they were throwing the ball trailing. I know, Drake May had the 2 interceptions in the fourth quarter, 250 yards. I think that they're going to fall back to earth a little bit. I think next year their schedule's really tough. They get the AFC West, and they're not going to get those 2 fourth-place teams. They're going to get the first-place teams now. So I think there'll be a little bit of a falling back to reality where there's probably still a playoff team, but you could see the Bills taking the top spot in the East once again.
The roster construction, as you were talking about with Seattle, the old Dukes of Hazzard, John Schneider.
Outstanding.
Masterful job.
2 teams, 2 different coaches, 2 starting quarterbacks, just to build that up the way they have. It's crazy.
I just thought too, besides the roster construction, I thought the Pats were just outcoached here. So badly. I didn't understand so many things, why they kept running similar plays when they knew that heat was coming to that left side of the line with the 2 rookies there. They kept, on the blitz packages, Witherspoon came in from there, had the one sack. I don't know why they kept going to the well. Don't know why they didn't up-tempo the offense even in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Why not go to hurry up and keep them, they didn't have, they gained decent yardage a lot of the times on first down, but second and third was terrible.
Yeah, a lot of times, especially in the first half, setting themselves up third and short, and they just couldn't convert. Will Campbell, questions are going to be asked. I mean, they drafted him top 5 pick, right? He's really good.
Is it true that a lot of the guys on Seattle that he had to tell?
They said he was shaking.
Yeah.
That's not a good call. Like if that's true and you're supposed to be your franchise left tackle is shaking on pass plays, knowing he has to pass protect. It went back to the first round against the Chargers. He said they have a $200 million pass edge room. No, they don't. Like Tuli Pelopu can get some good rushes. Khalil Mack, of course, always all right. But I remember telling Duke, if that's what he thinks about the Chargers pass rush, wait till you get Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson. Sorry, yeah. And then the Broncos with Benito, and then the Seahawks with the guys they can bring. Like, I think he's got some work to do. And we've talked about it enough. The arm length is always going to be a discussion for him. He's going to have to overcome that. But do you kick him inside to guard and say,
maybe that's the plan?
Well, maybe we invest in another tackle this year. You play guard, being all pro for 15 years. But yeah, they were outclassed in every aspect. And I think outcoached is fair, but I also think that Mike Vrabel gets every ounce out of his team. So
I'll give you that.
Out talented as well.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Does that make sense?
I mean, yeah, I just thought there were so many matchups that they kept going back to the well, and instead of mixing. And again, I thought if they would have sped up the play calling a little bit more, and again, maybe
don't let Seattle make those changes.
Yeah, go no huddle. It's funny. You know what? That one time that they did do that was when he threw that interception in no man's land. Do you remember that?
Just right down the middle.
Because they were in hurry up, and they went, okay, and then the interception comes right after that. So
yeah, and I saw the stat, like no quarterback has gone to the Super Bowl in their second year and then won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's a short list. It's like Burrow and Marino.
Exactly.
So there's not too many of them. But pretty encouraging season, I think, for the Patriots. But I don't think any Patriots fan should say, well, first of many, because the AFC is going to be back. The Chiefs are going to rebound. It's going to be a very tough schedule. I don't think it's as easy as saying, like, we'll be back next year. A lot of things would have to go right.
Yeah, I totally agree in the sense that the AFC with the teams that you just mentioned, and there will be some other ones too.
Yeah, Texans, like they'll be competitive. Jacksonville.
Yeah.
The Colts, we'll see. And they got to put it together for a full season. But if the Broncos are healthy, if the Chargers are healthy, that's a tough matchup. Like it's not going to be easy. And then all these new coaches in the AFC North, maybe they get a bit of a bump there as well. I don't.
Yeah,
Lamar and
the Ravens have to be better.
They have to be better. The Bengals have to be better. I would think the Steelers. Who knows? Is Aaron Rodgers back at quarterback? I have no idea. The Browns, well, we'll see if Shador, the Pro Bowl, can do it again for a full season. But it's the season never ends. We got the combine coming up at the end of the month here.
Unreal. Austin Mock, we had him on yesterday morning from The Athletic. We were talking about the draft and everything already because it's coming up quick, and everyone knows that Mendoza?
Yeah.
Why Mendoza is going to be number 1 pick. But after that, he says it's kind of wide open. And it really is.
Like there's some good pass rush. Yeah. There's, I've seen like a safety.
Yeah.
There's just a bunch of guys out there who could be.
I asked him about Love. I said, is he top 5, 6? And he goes, well, I don't know about that. But he said maybe 7 or 8 and, somewhere in there.
I think the mocks we talked about, like, I think it's Saints at 8. I think that's kind of the one people have been circling. But do you take a running back that high, and can he be that bell cow? Right? Saquon would have been one that was taken quite high as of late. But then you just look at the Super Bowl winner, and Kenneth Walker was a second-round pick, and he was outstanding, like showing that he can carry the load for that Seattle Seahawks team. It doesn't have to be Charbonnet in the red zone. He can get the job done as well. So, I don't know. The team I cheer for just took a running back in the first round, so I'm not against it. And I think he's going to be a stud.
The one I just pulled up has Love at 8 to the Saints, as you said. So
yeah.
But as Austin Mock was saying, holy cow! After Mendoza, some guys have Arvell Reese,
the
linebacker out of Ohio State. There's several other guys out of there's
Caleb Downs.
There could be 4 top 10 picks out of Ohio State if things kind of fall the way.
Great defense until they met Mendoza.
Well, yeah. Cardinal Tate. Some guys have
Receiver,
him falling,
yeah.
and some guys have him up. So
It is funny because I don't know. Like I've always thought this about the combine and pro days and all that sort of thing. I put maybe 3% into it.
Mhm.
Like, okay, you showed up, you didn't fall flat on your face in the 40. Now go back to game film. Go back to what you've seen previously. Because how many times do we get these guys at the combine that people fall in love with because they ran really fast, wearing no pads in a straight line? Like I feel like every year, and maybe it's going down because people are starting to smarten up to it. But just because you do something with no pads on, no opponent, like the Zach Wilson tape, Duke and I joke about all the time. He rolled to his left, through far right, with nobody on the field. And if there's a safety there, it's intercepted. But people fell in love with it. It's just like, go back to the game film, rely on that, and don't worry about the combine. Just talk to them and make sure, they got a good head on their shoulders.
Sonny Styles is that other linebacker at Ohio State. That's I shouldn't say top 10, but we're looking at maybe top 12 or so picks.
Yeah.
There probably will be 4 guys from Ohio State taken somewhere in that range. What's coming up on the Gregor Show today, Con, man? Do you know?
Good question. We will have Grant Fedoruk joining us, talking about the injuries. I'm sure Lindsey Vaughn's going to come up, and then Jason Tatum. I don't know if you guys saw that. He's going down to the G League. Tore his Achilles in the playoffs.
Yeah.
TR will be by. Dave McCarthy. Got Tater's 2-minute warning. Struddy. Chris Morris. Talk some CFL with him. 5 questions, spec, DVD, and more.
So the Elks are having a news conference tomorrow.
Tomorrow at 11.
11 bells. I'm trying to get there. I'll probably miss most of it, but maybe just get there in time to drag someone out of a scrum or something.
And then an event Wednesday night.
What's the event Wednesday night?
I think it's that banquet.
Banquet?
I think so. In the Ice District. Something's happening. Party. Maybe the new players. Meet and greet.
Well, they have that. I don't know about that, but then there's the big thing for the Coach of the Year in March, right? You saw
There's that as well, yeah. And the combine.
Combine coming up.
Good thing we have an intern. We're just, you got to go to this. The practicum depends on it.
Well, I mean, she's been at the Connor McDavid thing already.
Yeah.
This is how you get invested into the business, man.
Absolutely.
Do you remember your first?
I didn't have one.
You didn't do a?
No, my school was kind of a joke.
What do you mean?
Just
what?
Buying the professor booze and getting it. They gave me a key into the building.
Really?
I was the only person who got there on time, so I had a key.
On Saturday, I texted Connor and Declan and said, I went to the Golden Bears game, which I didn't know Spec was there. I wish I would have known. I could have hung with Spec. But anyway, texted him saying, yeah, this UBC team is good. Golden Bears might be in tough here. The level of competition's caught up. And Connor is just like, basically, who cares? And then Declan and I are giving him a hard time because we have pride. We care about local sports, local athletics. And then Connor says, well, I didn't go to a real college. And which preceded us to ask, did the Canadian School of Modern Broadcasting have an athletics program? No. And if so, what would have the mascot's name be? The antennas, the wave.
Well, and what sports would it be? But to be fair, I don't.
Yeah, Connor said, first place nationally ranked in chain smoking.
I don't think I don't think it was even brought up about
really
UBC being good. It was just like, this might be it for the Bears. And I just said shrug because what I meant was, it's been coming. Everyone's catching up. Like, what do you do, right? The UBC's Sven Butenschon's got a program out there.
Yeah, we
the
saw
women
it
are
last
studs
year, Duke,
too.
Remember?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
that's when we took Spec out. Duke, Spec, and I went. We watched the UBC game, and then Sven came to our table.
Really?
This is after we had a pail full already. Duke was still on the beer, but Spec and I said, "Well, let's just get a." We said, "Do you want to have a red?" Yeah, sure. Well, we might as well get a bottle, huh? Yeah,
that's classy.
Yeah.
One day I hope to get there.
Duke and I were pouring into Ubers at whatever time, cabs, and so did Spec too. Good stuff, Conman.
Thank you.
Enjoy 20 minutes of the Olympics before Fantasy Frenzy.
Oh yeah, no one turns the TV on out there, so I got to go do that right now.
It should be on nonstop.
You're telling me.
The power. We can't afford the power around here. Or what?
Well, no. Actually, we left the TVs on for you last night.
They were off today when we came in.
No, it must be sleep mode or something.
I don't know.
We left them on.
I have trouble every morning.
Duke's got to handle it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because there's one remote but 2 TVs. So when you get caught in that turning one on, the other one turns off, that's
too
annoying.
All right. Thanks, Conman.
Thank you.
Connor Halley, Fantasy Frenzy, Jason Gregor Show. Later this afternoon, 2 bells till 6 right here on Sports 1440. When we come back, we'll wrap up the show. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business, committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Made for some rough roads, but it means trails are now packed and ready for action. Don't miss out on riding adventures this winter with a Ski-Doo from Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. Work or play with new 2026 Generation 5 models with class-leading design and power. And right now, take advantage of 5.99% financing OAC. Only at Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. 15 Inglewood Drive in St. Albert. And always at riversidehonda.com. Shop local, shop Canadian.
Exciting news from St. Albert Dodge. The all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages have arrived. They have a great selection and a bunch of colors to choose from. And if you've checked out the Sport, you know it comes in some fun colors. Rugged capability, practical off-road features, and you can get behind the wheel for as low as $49,900. That's right. Put yourself in a brand new Jeep Gladiator Sport for less than $50,000. What more can you ask for? Time to head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Get ready to love your home, Canada. The Brick has the styles and the savings to make you fall head over heels. Save $1,100 on couches made for cuddling. Enjoy a romantic meal in the dining set up to 25% off. And yes, save 25% off in the bedroom, too. Plus, score up to $1,500 off the TV of your dreams. Love is in the air, and so are the savings. Only at the Brick. Some exclusions apply. Check out the Brick in South Common, West Ed Mall, Northside, and downtown.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
With some non-Nissan drivers here.
Soul-crushing flurries today with the low of making you cry.
What Nissan drivers here?
It's looking absolutely perfect out there.
Don't fear the forecast. Get an all-wheel drive Nissan Rogue and get up to $4,500 cash purchase bonus on select new 2026 Rogue models. Built, tested, and trusted to conquer Canada's harsh winters. Visit your local Nissan dealer today or nissan.ca for details. Conditions apply.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information.
If I had $46,000, I'd buy a robot butler and a trampoline. And maybe a trampoline for the robot butler.
You might have a few ideas of your own. The first early bird deadline for the Big Brothers Big Sisters Dream Home Lottery is February 11th. Get your tickets now for a chance to win $46,000 and support kids across Edmonton. Buy today at bigbrothersdreamhome.org. Lottery license number 745563 and 745562. Tickets sold only within Alberta.
You're listening to Sports 1440 and watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Sports 24/7. We are Sports 1440.
Program 1046 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne. Josh Fenwick with you here for the home stretch of the big program. I'm going to read you something here. See what you think of it. About the Canadian men's hockey team in the Olympics. In 2002 in Salt Lake, in 2010 in Vancouver, something went sideways in the round robin stage. That's what can happen in these tournaments. You don't have to be perfect in the round robin. What matters is how you handle adversity and how you improve as a team in time for the elimination round. You look at the Canadian teams that won gold in 02 and 2010. Similar story. There was a drastic improvement as the tournament moved along. Every player bought into their role, was willing to do whatever they had to do to help the team. In hockey, things are quite simple. When a team starts to gel and find chemistry. This is a short tournament. Everything is on the line, especially playing for Canada. There's no saving grace. No best foot forward. It's gold or bust. Those are the written words of one of our most special guests in the Sports 1440 studios in the past couple of years. A man who came in, shared his spirits, and then took them away. That was Chris Pronger. And Chris Pronger is a guest columnist for The Athletic, for the Olympics, and that was his part of his first article today. So I just kind of think, all the times that Prongs would have given the stink eye to a scribe over the years, looking down at said interviewee, whether it be a Mark Spector or whomever. And now he's on the other side, putting pen to paper as a guest columnist. So there you go. Prongs, Duke. Then there's no mention about the whiskey or anything like that.
No shameless plug at the end or in his his little columnist biography. Chris Pronger, Hall of Famer, Stanley Cup champion, Olympic gold medalist, and whiskey manufacturer.
Hey, this is a long article too. I just read the first couple paragraphs, Duke. This is a long article. I want to see who his editor is. I'm going to go through it later today when I get home, Duke, but just came down as a guest columnist or guest contributor. I guess you want to call it that. They've got the women's singles run for luge going on. The Canadians that we did see, I think, had better runs because we just saw a couple of them here in the commercial break. They had better runs. They're still well outside top 10s and things like that. Not sure exactly where they are, but better runs that they had in run 3. Big Baby texted into you, Duke. What radio station will be carrying the Canada game tomorrow? And I don't, you say just CBC, so I don't think that they put it on CBC radio, do they, Duke?
I thought the women's game was
it?
Yesterday. I saw it because the footage, like even the footage that Team Canada posts on Twitter, it says it's from CBC Radio Canada. And then the problem with that is, I think it's just in French. I don't know if you get an English radio broadcast.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Maybe something to think on here. Rockford texts in. Lauren McDavid, Connor's wife, should get the attire contract for the next Olympics. Her stuff is beautiful. The Lululemon clothing is horrid. Well, wouldn't that be something if Lauren McDavid comes in as the new designer? Is there anyone that likes these? I mean, it's not just, I think it's just the main parka thing, right? Like the other stuff is okay. Like when you see the players wearing stuff like those, the vested things.
My only real problem is like the color scheme. Why they felt the need to make it brown and like dark brown.
There should be some white in there. Come on now.
I get it. You're trying to change it up and make things a little bit different each time around, but like red and white, it's pretty nice combo. They contrast very well.
Our buddy SKS has come into the studio just to listen to the last little bit. I don't know if you caught the very beginning of the show when we were talking about the Duke Olympics in Delburne and all the events that could be coming in. Coach Al says fiddle plywood dancing. Duke, is that something that you might be interested in? Because you can dip them. You love dipping them.
Oh yeah, dip them nice and low, spin them around. Birds love it. Yeah, I'd give it a go. Need a good fiddle player. I know one.
Do you? Who?
Rachel Malenka. Remember when we had Sarah Malenka on before she went to Paris for the Paralympics?
Yes.
Her sister, I went to the U of A with her. She plays fiddle in a Ukrainian band out there by Vegreville.
There's some great events here for the Duke. This is only going to gain steam, and it'll be on the Ocho, TSN 8.
You put it together, Kev. I'll participate.
Well, we still got to.
You need to round out the events and then get a field of participants that I can compete against.
Yeah,
can't just be me doing this for the sake of doing it.
The ODR game is priority number one.
Right.
So I got to look at.
Tell you what, Kev. If we're going on the Olympic cycle, you've got 4 years to get this Duke Olympics put together, and by then, who knows what state my body will be in? I might just be an observer, or like Connor, a secondary caliber type broadcaster for it.
Corey says bale of hay bobsled. You know what? I think Duke would be good is if you were on top of a round bale that was rolling down a hill, and you basically had to stay on top. So like
almost like a log
rollers.
Yeah.
So if you stayed on top of that.
But here's a way to add a dynamic to that. Is the net wrap or the twine cut off the bale when you roll it down the hill, so it is progressively getting smaller, and there's parts of it coming off as you roll it down the hill.
Wouldn't that be more dangerous though?
Yeah. People love danger.
Sizzler says, what time is the Canada game on Thursday? Our time.
Mountain time. Scheduled puck drop is 8:40.
8:40. Laddie will be just sliding in here. Like after the first period.
This could be a contentious last hour and a half of the show.
It is going to be wild because he'll be watching. Well, the first period should be over by the time he gets in here, correct?
I would think so.
Yeah.
An hour later.
It's exciting. And man, he's going to be, you know what? He's not even going to be paying attention to the show.
Probably not.
We should probably shut the TV off here.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll be watching it over on this side if that's the case.
Sizzler says AM or PM. Well, figure it out, Sizzler.
It's an 8-hour time difference, so unless they're playing in the middle of the night.
Imagine 8:40 p.m. That would be what time start?
Well, 4 in the morning local time.
Okay, fellas, we're gonna have a 4:40 local time game.
Sizzler. This question, AM double question mark. What do you mean? Like, have you not been catching on that these games are in Italy? They're all on in the morning.
The Canada-U.S. women's game, again, starts at 12:10 p.m., so another hour and 15 minutes. The Canadians without captain Marie-Philippe Poulin, so that's going to be something to look at. Duke had a great in or out question. Who's going to be upping their game, taking over, adding a little bit more of an element offensively? And you know what? There's also the leadership angle. There's going to be some of the older players on the team that are going to have to, handle that aspect as well. Never mind the offense that it brings. Coming up at the top of the hour, it is Fantasy Frenzy with
the former Rochep T-Bird,
Connor Halley and the Duke of Delburne. At 12 o'clock, it's the Lowdown with Alan Mitchell till 2, where Jason Greger drives us home with the Jason Greger Show till 6 p.m. We got Fox Sports all night long. We will be back with you tomorrow morning at 7 bells with our co-host, David Schlemko. Before that, all of that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Riverside Honda, 59 years and counting. A St. Albert and surrounding areas, premier Honda and Can-Am dealer. It's your dream. Ride it at riversidehonda.com. Hey, thanks everyone for listening. Really appreciate all the great texts and all the superior interaction today. We could not do it without you. Hope you have a rest of a terrific Tuesday. We will see you back here tomorrow morning at 7. Until then, here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
This morning from the Olympics in Italy, Canada picking up another medal, winning silver in the mixed team short track speed skating. Other Canadians in action, women's team combined downhill. Pair of Grenier and Saint-Germain finishing 13th in slalom, 19th in the Alpine, while the Grey Nomeyer team finished 22nd in Alpine. Julian Biel and Michael Kingsbury finishing 2nd and 3rd in their heat of men's moguls qualifiers. In men's 1,000-meter speed skating, William Danchenu and Felix Roussel both topping their respective heats, while Stephen Dubois finished 3rd. In the women's 500-meter, Courtney Soreau and Kim Boutin both finished 1st in their heats, and Florence Brunel placing 2nd, all 3 advancing through. Currently in action, Trinity Ellis and Emberly Susko just wrapping up their 4th run in the women's luge, and still to come, men's singles figure skating short program featuring Stephen Gogolev and our women's hockey team taking on the USA just after noon, but will not have captain Marie-Philippe Poulin after getting injured in yesterday's win over the Czechs. Just 4 games on the hardwood tonight. Pacers head to MSG to take on the Knicks. Houston hosting the Clippers. Suns play the Mavs. And the Spurs going up against the Lakers from SoCal in the nightcap. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is Fantasy Frenzy with Hallie and Douglas. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR.